It's time for Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Countywide Service Company. Now, here's Don Harris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful night at Comalander Stadium. It's beautiful because we are kicking off a new season of high school football, and that means a new season of Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights right here on the CW35. Tonight, it's the Gucci Bowl. That means the Churchill Chargers against the Clark Cougars. Good evening, everyone. I'm Don Harris, along with my broadcast partner, Chuck Mikatinik, and the Gucci Bowl, always a huge game in San Antonio to kick off the season. A great backyard rivalry, but tonight it's extra special as both schools remember loved ones close to their heart. Josh Pollard was a captain for the Chargers. He wore number 12. He passed away on August 7th in his sleep of an enlarged heart. Josh Pollard was a standout young man. His impact on the campus was felt around not only the Churchill community, but with other schools as well, as he played many sports and club sports as well. Over 1,700 people attended his funeral, and tonight we will have a very memorable pregame as the Churchill Chargers honor him in a bunch of different ways, right, Chuck?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they're going to take his jersey to midfield, Don, and you see the number 12 sticker is going to be prominently displayed all season long. They're going to have a flag with his number on it also before the start of the game. His name is going to remain on the roster the rest of the year. Churchill's going to line up tonight, first play from scrimmage. They're only going to go with 10 guys to honor their missing man, and then they're going to call timeout afterwards. And Don, you know, this has really affected both communities. I mean, the Clark kids have been signing banners all week. Josh also played baseball. A lot of the Clark kids know them, know the Pollards, and they know, you know, from this backyard rivalry, this is a really tight-knit community. And both of these teams are feeling the effects of this, and we're going to do our best to honor the young man tonight.
Yeah, we know that his parents, Dan and Stacy Pollard, 83 and 84 graduates of Churchill High School, their sons Mason and Kyle, also all coming to the game tonight. It's going to be very bittersweet for them, but they are going to be surrounded by their friends and loved ones, and I know it'll be a special night for them.
Without a doubt. And I mean, you know, it's one of those things, you know, I'm sure each one of these steps that the Pollards have to take, and their friends and family and everybody else that's associated with them, you know, it's a series of little baby steps, and tonight will be hopefully one of those as well. It's going to be a very difficult night, I'm sure, but in some ways, hopefully it'll be part of the healing process.
Yep, and Clark going through a similar process. Lloyd Alexander, you might remember Coach Alexander. He was an assistant for Mike Robbins for years. He came up in that coaching tree with D.W. Rutledge and Jim Rackley out at Texas Lutheran, and then was later the head coach at Clark High School. Passed away as well this summer, and the Clark community very moved tonight, and they will honor him as well.
You know, a lot of the kids here at Clark don't remember Coach Alexander. I mean, his last year coaching was my daughter's freshman year of high school, and he took them not only to a state semifinal appearance, but also a regional finals his last 2 years. Great coach, a coach that was well loved in the community. Not only that, always deflected attention and praise to his kids. And obviously, Coach Alexander is going to be missed as well.
And all of us who got to deal with him over the years, he is very much missed. But it is also time for excitement and time for a new season of high school football, and that means Mike Hernandez will be joining us out, as always, on the sidelines with our ASCO game time weather. Mike?
All right, yeah, you know what? A completely different feel to today's game. Last year, the first game, the actual temperatures on the field were like 117. Nowhere near that today. The temperatures in the upper 80s. Heat index is at about 95. A nice easterly wind. So that's going to stay with us. I think it's going to be a beautiful night for football. And remember, last year at this time, we were getting a lot of rain. I don't think we're going to see nearly as much for the bulk of this season. We'll see how that goes. Back up to you guys.
All right, we will break down the team. Up next, it's our Church's Chicken keys to the game for Churchill and Clark when the CW35's Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights continues after this.
Closed captioning of tonight's game is brought to you by Rodriguez Butcher Supply.
Welcome back to Comalander Stadium. It's week one of the high school football season and the debut of Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights for 2016. Clark and Churchill kicking off the Gucci Bowl. Right now it is time for our Church's Chicken keys to the game. Chuck, let's start with the Clark Cougars and their coach, Steve McGee.
Well, you know, tonight, Don, the first thing the Clark Cougars want to do is get some turnovers, create some turnovers, and then make sure they want to protect the ball on offense. Secondly, special teams. You remember last year, That was also a focus for the Cougs. They didn't do a very good job of protecting the ball during special teams play. Might have cost them that ball game. And then, of course, they also want to make some big plays in this game and also prevent Churchill from getting theirs.
Here's what Coach McGee said just moments ago.
We're going to the playoffs. We're going to take care of our business. I mean, that's our goal. We've got 3 goals. We want to beat Churchill. We want to win a gold ball, which is obviously our district championship, and win playoff games.
All right, his counterpart wants to win as well. Here's the keys for the Churchill Chargers.
Don, obviously these young men are going to be playing with a lot of emotion tonight. How can they not be when the wounds are so fresh from Josh Pollard? It's going to be a matter of can they keep it in check or not. But still, emotion is going to be a good thing tonight. Young guys need to step up. Churchill's young in some spots. They're going to be leaning on some of these young guys while they grow up early. So we're going to see if they can grow up quickly. And then, of course, also they want to stay balanced on offense.
Here's Churchill coach Ron Harris, no relation.
It is a tough district. I mean, I don't see anybody being drastically head and shoulders above everybody else. Reagan and Johnson, probably the preseason picks just based on past performance, and they always seem to have quite a bit of talent, and they're extremely well coached. But, you know, I think this is a season where anybody could win on any given game night. So, you know, the team that prepares the best and makes the fewest mistakes will be the ones that comes out on top and wins those playoff berths.
No offense, bro. You're a good-looking guy, but that Harris is a tad better looking than you.
We both have the same hat. Proud class of '83, but I'll try to keep it objective tonight. It is Churchill and Clark. It is the Gucci Bowl, and we will kick things off. We'll have our national anthem, and we'll get things underway when we come back. Okay.
And this is rough seeing this on an athletic field, isn't it?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the combined choirs of Churchill and Clark singing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please observe a moment of silence in honor and tribute to Churchill senior Josh Pollard and to longtime Clark coach Lloyd Alexander, who both recently passed away. Thank you very much. We're ready for Gucci Bowl.
The veteran PA announcer, Lon Oakley, handling a very difficult situation brilliantly as always, and we are about ready to kick off this football game finally. A lot of emotion here tonight at Comalander Stadium, as we talked about earlier with Josh Pollard and with Lloyd Alexander. Both schools, I imagine, feeling that emotion. And Chuck, we talked to both these teams this week, and one of the things that both coaches were concerned about is all the adrenaline and all the emotion that will be expended in the first quarter or so. But then you got to settle down and play a football game, and both really tried to convey that to their two teams this week.
Well, and you look at the score last year, you remember the Cougs got the opening kick, went right down the field and scored a field goal, and that was pretty much it. It was all Churchill the rest of the way. But you're right, Don. You know, it's opening night. It's the Gucci Bowl, backyard brawl, the battle for bidders, all those things. And then yet still in the front of everybody's mind is Josh and Coach Alexander. I mean, it's going to be a big part of this game tonight, a big part of the story. And I'm sure both teams will play as hard as they can and honor both of these gentlemen as we go forward.
The Chargers wearing their traditional black and red. They've gone with the black pants tonight. Clark's got a new uniform look. I noticed that this week they got a new helmet sticker, a new Coug on the helmets. It's really cool, you know, on the uniforms are. And we are getting ready to get underway with the Cougars kicking off to Churchill for our America's Diamond kickoff. Doing the kicking will be Malik Fletcher. That's Forrest Diaz who will kick it off. And the Churchill Chargers will return it tonight, as they'll have the ball first. Malik Fletcher will be the return man. He's back with Jonathan Alva, a wide receiver who's a junior who's really come on in training camp. And we're underway here at Comalander Stadium. Churchill's got it around the 25, breaks a tackle, spins back inside, and the Chargers will set up shop right at the 27-yard line. Jordan Billups is the Churchill quarterback, and he's a good one, Chuck. We remember last year he was in a kind of a dual quarterback battle. He ended up losing that starting job, but they had to find a way to get him on the field. And in this very game that we called last year, he found a way to touch the ball both as a running back. They split him out, threw it to him, and now he's running the show. Yeah, they all set it up for this year. You know, Don, he got some snaps last year, as you said, and they made sure that he got at least a series once every half last year. They are ready for a big season from Jordan Billups, clearly one of the best athletes on the Churchill roster. Diego Vela is with him in the backfield. It's first down as Billups wants to throw, and now he keeps, spins back inside, and he's dropped for a loss on the play. Clint Westmoreland, the first man there, and he had good penetration from the get-go. Yeah, he sure did. Here's a look at the Churchill offensive line. Jacob Smith is a good one, and 67, Gabe Cabrera is a returning all-district player for Churchill. We talked a lot about Billups being in the backfield. He's joined back there with a couple of tall receivers as well. Diego Vela is the running back. Keep an eye on Groff, number 8, favorite target of Billups. Billups fires that way. Caught on the outside by Alva, and he is brought down after a gain of about 4. First man there was big number 75 for the Cougars, and that is Josiah Roberts, who did a great job from his offensive line getting all the way out there. Clint Westmoreland, the linebacker, leads that group. Dalton Jones and Matt Ozuna, the stars of that Cougar secondary. Run down the Clark defense, and Churchill faced with a 3rd and about 7. Billups is pressured, cuts inside, but the Cougar defense is really doing a great job of swarming Austin Alvarado, the senior outside linebacker. Coaches could not talk highly enough about him this week, and he's there to put Churchill in a punting situation. Well, we couldn't have drawn it up any better for the Cougs on the first possession. You know, the Chargers have some explosive players on their end. And look at the contain. I mean, everybody's staying in their gap. And that was a really good first series for the Clark Cougars. Are really looking to, you know, get some early momentum here and try to kickstart their season. Kenneth Bivens back to receive. He is an electric running back who also returns punts. Nick Folsom, a sophomore punter, will do the honors. He's left-footed, and he gets it off, and Bivens is going to stand there and watch it as it takes a short bounce and be down there by the Churchill special teams unit. And Clark will take over with very good field position in a 0-0 ball game. It was a 32-yard punt, no return, of course. As we're under 10 minutes to play here at Comalander Stadium, a lot of bright sunshine. We've had much worse heat in recent years on the opening kickoff of the season, but it's only going to be in the 80s tonight, which I know the players will appreciate that after being in that hot sun during two
Eliminate.
I can't wait to look at this kid at quarterback here, Jake Stewart. A couple years ago, running the JV for Clark, he ran the table. Last year they tried him at running back. He got a little dinged up last year, but this is his team, and we're going to see what the Clark Cougars can do here on offense as we pay a little tribute.
Yep, the timeout was called because Churchill lined up on purpose with only 10 men. They did that to honor Josh Pollard. Chuck talked about it in the pregame show. And what a classy moment. I'm sure that's lost on many of the people in the stands. Like, why did they call a timeout? They wanted to make sure they were out there with Josh on the first play of the game.
And you see the big number 12 on the left side of the Churchill helmets. I mean, this is going to be a slow process trying to get over the devastation of losing a brother and a teammate like this. And, Don, we talked about it when it happened. Everybody knows the Pollards, and then, to see his jersey out there on the field, man, it just opens up some old stuff.
Yes, it does. Trips to the left for Stewart. Coach McGee called him the fastest player on their team. Bivens might argue that. He's back in the backfield with him as he's got tall receivers on the left side. Runs the option to Bivens, and there's a fumble. Ball's on the ground. Bivens picks it up and he's got some room. Does a nice job of breaking tackles past the 50 before Zach Cuellar finally brings him down, but he's only about 1.5 yards short of a Clark first down.
Well, don't you like those first game jitters, Don? And just going to spread it out, do a little stretch, get the pitch, still get some yards, even though on a busted play.
Turned into a big yardage on the nice bounce, almost a basketball perfect bounce of that football that came back up, and Bivens was able to get it. Alejandro De La Trig is a guy they like a lot, a receiver, as we run down the lineup. And Luke McGee's about 6'9". He will be a favorite target. You cannot miss him. He's number 85. And there you see the Clark Big Uglies up front. No offense. Stewart is not going to get this snap off, as we're going to either have a timeout or... We do have a timeout, and we'll take it with them. The Clark Cougars and the Churchill Chargers just getting started on week 1 of Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights here on the CW 35.
All right, welcome back. Hey, my favorite part of this is Church's Chicken, because they bring food. Victoria joins us again this year. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So you brought a lot of goodies that you can't expect to get back. Tell us what's going on. You got several deals.
Yeah, so we have our $4 big box. It's back. And we have our new LTO that we threw in there. So they're cheddar pinyo bites with three of our all-white meat tender strips. The cheddar pinyo bites are jalapeno and cheddar put in a biscuit bite.
Okay, go ahead.
They're great. And so I would like to invite everyone to come out to our restaurants after the game to try our new family meal. And it's a 9-piece all-white meat tender strips or legs and thighs for only $8.99.
Now, I wouldn't want to send you to a place if they weren't good, so I had to taste test them. You understand that?
And what'd you think?
Yeah, very good. Very good. All right. Thanks for coming by. Thanks even more for leaving the chicken. We'll see you next week. All right, back to you guys.
All right, 2nd and 1 for Jake Stewart. He's got Bivens back there with him in a fullback set. Fakes to Bivens, rolls out, and fires over the middle for McGee, and he just rushed it, Chuck. Had him wide open.
You're going to have a little first game jitters. I mean, that's all part of opening night and being, the first guys to kick off the entire season.
Good play call by the Clark coaching staff. He had an extra step to set himself and make a throw, but couldn't quite deliver on it. As we look at the Churchill defense, boy, number 42, Court Jake is a really good football player. You're not going to miss him tonight. He's right in the middle of your screen playing middle linebacker for Churchill. He's a real good one. Stewart hands to Bivens, who tries to bounce it outside. A gang of Chargers right there. Jacobs is in there with him. He wasn't the first man there, but Churchill fired up after a great defensive play.
How about the defense is showing up early here in this ball game, huh?
That's exactly right. They're going to credit Brett Almos with the tackle.
Yeah, Brett Almos and about 4 of his buddies. I mean, look at how much penetration Churchill gets right there, and then Bivens just has to hold on to the football.
Churchill has nobody back really to receive this punt, as Forrest Diaz looking to kick it on 4th down and 5. The closest man back there is Luke Rosas. And Rosas is going to drop back, but they're pretty much just going to let this one bounce and watch and see what happens. And it bounces out just north of the 15-yard line, and that's where Billups and company will have the football for their second drive when we come back. A 38-yard punt by Forrest Diaz. Churchill's in business when we come back. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Hey, as always, we want to remind you the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy, is underway already. Submit a photo of your school's cheer team and tell us why they're the best. The 2 top vote getters win $500 and $250 grants. The top 4 squads will win the chance to cheer at the nationally televised U.S. Army All-American Bowl or the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB. Both of those games on Saturday, January 7th in the Dome. Nominations due by October the 16th. You can register on CW35.com. Jordan Billups in the shotgun for Churchill on first down at their own 15. Man in motion, he fakes to him and throws out to the near side. It's caught, and going across the 25 down to the 30 is Michael Sandoval. He's a senior, and he's got his first catch of the night.
Now you can see what Churchill's trying to do early. They were a little bit thin at running back going into this game tonight. And so they want Jordan Billups to handle the ball as much as possible tonight. Fake the run. And Billups throwing those great feet of his. You know, he's a multi-sport star. Good throw and catch.
Good size. Good receivers to throw to, and Fletcher and Jacob Groff, Alva and Espinoza. He's got 4 wide right now. Churchill's going to see what they can do on the ground as Billups keeps it himself, and smashing him from the outside is Austin Alvarado with a big tackle, but not before Billups has a nice gain, and Churchill's going to be looking at very short yardage to pick up the first down.
Now, Coach Harris was really just raving about Jordan Billups this week, you know, talking about all the things that he's embraced as he kind of grows into this position of quarterback. You know, as we said, he got a few snaps back there last year, but this is his team. And we talked about how thin they are at running back, but, you know, he's embraced the leadership role, and he's becoming more of a thrower. And, you know, it's interesting, Don, is, you know, I'm not sure what sport he's better at, football or baseball, but Davidson just recently offered him a football scholarship, so they see something in him too.
Cool school, too. Second down and a little more than a yard as they run a little sweep to the near side. And Churchill picks up the first down short of the 44-yard line. And that was Jonathan Espinoza, the senior wide receiver. Came on a little bit of that zone read.
Yeah, and as you might expect, you know, this is their second series, so, you know, I feel like the Chargers have a little bit more of a flow to this series as they get their feet underneath them.
The jitter's starting to wear off, and they're starting to settle in. Both squads are. 1st and 10 for Billups. Sends a man in motion, and we got movement. The center kind of faked the snap. That's going against Churchill. I'm always guilty of that. Sometimes I'm wrong. I shouldn't jump in there. I should let the official make the call, but I saw it first. He just moved the football before everybody else moved. And that's the stuff, Chuck, that we've talked about year after year that really coaches, especially early in the season, expect, but when it disrupts your flow. When you're moving the football and you have now you're looking at 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10, and sometimes those can be drive killers.
Yeah, you know, we talked to Coach Harris this week, and that was number 2 on his list. One of the things he wanted to control tonight was the penalties.
So Billups will throw on 1st and 10. He's got Groff on a slant. And the receiver, who's long and tall and fast and a nice little recruit, has the ball all the way into Clark territory. Matthew Gutierrez on the coverage. 22-yard gain for Groff.
Really not bad coverage by the Cougs at all. Had 2 guys there. You just have to credit the quarterback and the receiver there. And Groff is one of those kids, played a lot of tight end last year. He's going to see some snaps there also tonight, but oh man, he's just one of those guys, Don. He's a tweener. He can go outside, he can go inside, and right there he was split outside, made a heck of a catch.
He's one of those kids we've seen grow up. His mom is in the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame, a very accomplished volleyball coach and player, Laura Newbarger Groff, who played at the University of Texas, an outstanding athlete in her own right. In fact, he's going to have a heck of a career just to be as good as Mom was. Mom's in the Hall of Fame.
Let's send it down to Mike. Send it down to Mike.
Speaking of Hall of Famers,
Stand by, Mike.
Hernandez standing by on the sidelines as always.
All right, thank you, Don. All right, I'm joined by Clark Band Director Kevin Russell. How you doing?
Doing great. It's good to be back.
So we were talking about this. You
Kevin
guys, the
Russell.
school just started, but you guys have been hard at it for a while, right?
Yeah, since about the last week of July.
Wow. So you've been out there on, I guess, on the pavement at school practicing?
Yeah, on the parking lot, you know, in the morning, and
I'm
then
not
inside
holding
in
you
the
up, Red Hat.
afternoon.
They
So
can
just
go
getting after
whenever.
trying to catch
Okay,
everybody
copy
up.
that.
You were telling me you got about 180 students that are in the band.
That's correct, yeah. Got about 180, and things are going well. You know, it's as good as it's going to be on the 4th day of school.
Okay, so, and again, you got a big halftime show. What do you have on tap for us tonight?
Coming in
We're
on the
going
wrong
to do a little bit of
channel.
our competition show that's coming up. It's called The Barber, and it's going to include music from Sweeney Todd and music from the composer
talking
Samuel
to me?
Barber, as well as Barbara Seville from Rossini. So it's all kind of Barber twist on it. Yeah.
All right, Kevin, looking forward to hearing you guys, and good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Mike.
Back to you guys.
Mike, I just want to let you know barber is kind of a sore subject with Chuck and I, given our hair situations. Neither one need to go very much. But we're still looking forward to the halftime show. Billups in the shotgun on first down. Fires to the near side, or to the far side rather, and it was just short.
Hey, was Don talking to me?
Yeah, in fact, I can still hear you, Mike.
What? Oh.
Turn your mic off.
Oh, that's funny. Well, have a good rest of the game, Don.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you were earlier talking, Don, about Laura Nugabar or Goff. I mean, you don't even know which was she better at. I mean, she was one of the best athletes in San Antonio history, and then, man, she's racking up the wins like crazy with the UTSA volleyball team, too.
She's very proud of her son, as she should be, as we saw in that last completion. Vela, the big, stocky fullback, running back, gets his first carry of the night.
Yeah,
Gets all the way to the 35. Sorry, Jeff.
No, Diego Vela's going to get a lot of the snaps tonight. Austin Castañeja is hurt with a hamstring. They're going to have him back at some point, but, you know, this has been a little bit of a running back by committee right now for Churchill. You know, they lost their 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago that decided he was going to just concentrate on baseball. Jordan Cardenas, what a heck of an athlete that kid is. So,
and De La Trig concentrating on basketball.
Yeah, for Clark, that's right.
Two really good players. All right, 3rd down and 6 for Billups, who keeps it himself. He's going to get the first down and more. Drives over and through a couple of Clark defenders, and he's right down there near the 25-yard line. Nice gain before Matthew Gutierrez, the junior free safety, brings him down.
Yeah, those big guys up front really opening up a gaping hole right there. Look at the whole left side. Adam Efron, just a sophomore, and Jacob Smith. There's a possibility, Don, that even you could have got through that hole, and I don't want to take anything away from my man Billups right there, but mercy, that was a big hole those boys created up front.
All right, so the Chargers in business now, 27-yard line, 1st and 10. Vela keeps it. Vela on a dive, gets across the 25, across the 20, and Austin Bernard, the junior corner from Clark, brings him down, but not before he can get into the Vantage College red zone here in the first quarter. 4:45 to play, and Vela doing a good job finding a hole and then powering his way through what was left of it.
You know, last year, all the yards that Churchill got, it was almost split 50-50 yards on the ground and yards through the air. And tonight, they've really got good balance and good tempo right here on the second drive.
2nd and 4. Man in motion again. Little fake. The slant to Groff is there again. Did he hang on to it? He did not. He had it for a second, and he took a lick. And that one's going to smart a little bit because Jesus Solis was down there, but one of the safeties came over and hit him to jar it loose, and Groff is going to say, hey, I need somebody for the next play.
Yeah, Jordan got drilled too at the end of this play, hung in the pocket really nice, but as you said, Don, I mean, the safety's closing quickly there for the Cougs. That was number 25, Matthew Ozuna, laying the wood there at the end.
He probably prevented a touchdown. That was a big-time hit, jarring that ball loose when what otherwise looked like a catch.
Clark is a little thin on defense. They're missing a couple of starters, but they expect these two guys to come back later in the year, but they're going to have to hold their own until they get back.
Vela keeps on 3rd down. had the first down, then he runs backwards. Now he's going to score. Diego Vela makes it 6-0 Churchill after changing direction, and the Chargers are on the board first.
Did that just happen?
I wasn't going to criticize the kid. He had the first down to gain, then lost it when he went backwards, but he knew better than both of us.
Big boy's gonna eat. Jeepers creepers, goes to the left side and then cuts it back the other way and finds himself the end zone, our first touchdown of the year.
Good football players make football plays. Cole Trevor Wilson on to add the PAT. Billups will hold. And it looks like it's up, and it's no good. Wide to the left. And so Churchill will hold on to a 6-0 lead when we come back. You're watching Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We're live from Comalander Stadium. It's the Gucci Bowl, and the Chargers are on the board first.
Go, Diego, go.
Welcome back to the Gucci Bowl. The Chargers fired up. Everybody's got a smile on their face on that side as the Churchill squad draws first blood. Churchill kicking it away. Trevor Wilson doing the honors. And Jake Stewart, the quarterback, back there along with, I believe that was number 9 taking it in, Austin Brainard, the junior. At any rate, Clark will try to answer as we now have full shade on the field except for about the 10-yard end. Before it was a little difficult, kind of like those old noon Cowboy games at Texas Stadium when you had that weird shade, half sunlight, but now we're nighttime here at Comalander Stadium.
What a weird kind. We have a cross breeze tonight going. You know, if you're looking at your screen and looking at the field, it's going kind of from the right to the left. So really not an advantage for either side there.
Churchill playing the very tall Luke McGee, 6'9", straight up. He's at the bottom of your screen at wide receiver. Stewart fakes to Bivens, keeps himself, and kind of stumbles near the 20. And gain it, maybe 1, back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and long for Clark. And Chuck, you talked about it earlier about this Jake Stewart, what a great athlete he is. Also a great kid, just funny, good leader. As a coach told us, the fastest guy on their team, but really kind of taking his team over leadership-wise. Everybody seems to like him.
Yeah, Red Rocket, and as we said, you know, when he was a sophomore running the JV, he was the quarterback, and then they kind of tinkered with some things and, you know, wanted to get him the ball in space, so they put him at running back last year, but he's back at quarterback for his senior year, and this is the kind of stuff he can do.
Nifty moves. You saw the moves to get clear, the speed to get to the outside. Zach Cuellar finally pushed him out of bounds, but not before he picks up 12 and a first down.
Yeah, super competitive, and, you know, this is what they're going to have in Jake Stewart. And, you know, we all know he can run. And then Coach McGee was telling us, you know, day by day, you could tell he's getting more and more confident and more comfortable with throwing the football. He's a former baseball player. He may go back to playing baseball before it's all said and done, but he can throw a baseball. He can throw a football as well. So, you know, I think as this season goes along, you're going to see more and more of this young man doing some really good things on the football field.
That's a Braceland first down for the Clark Cougars, trying to answer Churchill's score. Straight drop for Stewart. Wanted to throw it. Now buys some more time. Jake was in pursuit, and that's a smart play by that young man right there because Court Jaquez had him in his sights, and he was breathing down his neck.
You know, Court Jaquez is one of those guys, Don. I thought, you know, when we would talk to Coach Harris that there would just be offers off the charts for this kid. I mean, he sticks out like a sore thumb, and, you know, hopefully he's going to have a big senior year because if you look at the UIW smile cam, everybody's smiling about that, and Churchill's smiling because they got Court Jaquez in the middle. I mean, this kid is a football player.
Yes,
it is astonishing to me that there are more schools knocking down this kid's door. They'd be right up there at the front.
2nd down and 10 as we saw the UIW smile cam presented by Incarnate Word. And Bivens went down. Now they're going to bring it back to where he fell at the 30. Ben Andrade, a second-team All-District player from a year ago for Churchill, brings him down. But, you know, Chuck, you're exactly right. We are starting to see now kids like Austin Hayes, who's now starting at Oklahoma State at wide receiver, didn't get any looks until the very end of the recruiting process. Basically because everybody looks at a 40 time. And Jaquez is one of those tough, Butkus-like, inside Singletary linebackers that can play tight end to end and can stop the run and is tough and is physical. But these days, the big-time Division I programs look at the leaner, longer linebackers now that run 4.4 to chase the speed. So I think he can play somewhere. Trinity's already offered him if he wanted to play D3, and he's had a couple other looks, but he's too good of a football player not to play somewhere.
Well, just look on the previous play. I mean, you just mentioned Jake Stewart, by all accounts, is the fastest kid on Clark's team. Jaquez was there spying him.
And he was running him down.
He wouldn't allow him to get outside, so there you go.
Ron Harris shaking his head. Those are the things that kill coaches, a personal foul. And so it gives the Cougars a first down at the 45, and now they're on the move. Trips left for Stewart. He's got one receiver singled up on the outside to the right. Instead, he hands to Bivens, and Bivens is annihilated after about a 1-yard gain. Jim Foster, the junior defensive end, there to bring him down.
Yeah, we're talking about a young man here, number 5. He's just a sophomore, but obviously he's electric. He's got all kind of ability, and you know, we got to remember too, this young man's seeing his first varsity snaps. Well, not his first varsity snaps, but his first varsity snaps as the man back there running the football.
McGee goes to the top of your screen. He's got one-on-one coverage and about a foot height differential on the defender. Stewart may audible for that. Said he keeps it himself, saw something else, and he's got space. Let's see that speed. Coming from the complete other side was cornerback Thomas Sherrick to make the tackle, but not before. There's a Braceland first down after a 24-yard gain by Jake Stewart.
Yeah, Luke Rose is doing a nice job running him down too, but you know, complete read option here. Jake decides to keep it himself and cuts it back across the grain, and the Red Rockets on the move.
First down and 10 for Clark. They're starting to feel their oats a little bit. Trip receivers to the far right. Stewart's getting a call as we speak. And blitzing from the outside just missed him, and Stewart kept it. Churchill sent the house. It's in a corner blitz with Zach Cuellar, who blew up Bivens, but he didn't have the football.
Yeah, he did his job. He got into the backfield and tried to disrupt the play. He just didn't get much help on the other side. But great read by Stewart that time, obviously. He keeps that ball himself, and otherwise, that little 5-yard gain is going to turn into a 3 or 4 yard loss.
So it's second down and 6 from the 29 of Churchill. Clark threatening for the first time tonight.
Take it away. Take it away. Defense, take that ball. Last time, take it away.
They blitz again. Same thing, but Stewart gets out of it again. But he's chased down, and I think we're going to see a horse collar call there as he was brought down right at about the 33. Grant Gomez got to him, but he got him in the back of the neck, and the head official wearing the white cap saw it and threw his flag.
They're picking it up.
Let's see what he calls here.
Horse collar, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Gerald Green, the official tonight. We've had him before. One of the best in the business. And that will send the Clark Cougars for the first time into the Vantage College red zone as we get close to the end of the first quarter. 1:15 to play here in the first. Churchill leads at 6-0, and Clark, because of 2 15-yard penalties, a personal foul, and then another personal foul with the horse collar there, is in business.
I'll tell you what, Grant Gomez has some speed though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he got there quickly. They ran that blitz twice in a row. Stewart, straight drop, looking over the middle, fires, had a man, but he just threw it kind of in between Luke McGee and Ben Sims, the big tight end who would run all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, I think Jake's going to get his stuff together here in a little bit. You know, a lot of this is just getting acclimated to playing in a football game at the varsity level and getting some snaps, and he's kicking himself a little bit, but you know, he's gonna, look at this, they're trying to pick each other up. But again, you look at the pocket that he had to throw in right there. I mean, Clark, their big fella's really doing a job up front. Josiah Roberts and David Noble really sealing off the entire right side there so that Jake had a nice window to throw through. He's gonna get one of these next ones here, you can bet on it.
2nd down and 10 from the 18. Bivens and Stewart in the backfield. Again, straight drop, wanted to fire it, now throws to the other side of the field. It's caught at about the 11-yard line, and they're going to call it a catch inside there by Ben Sims. So if you didn't miss him once, go right back to him. Braden Eisenhart with the coverage forced him out of bounds.
Yeah, Jordan, Sims, McGee, Clark very happy with their receiving core, and I know Jake Stewart's glad he's got him too, so I think he's going to be getting all these guys involved tonight. And you know, Clark's been one of those programs that likes to run the football first and then throw, but Stewart, if you want to win some football games, you're going to have to be able to do what they just did right there.
Stewart looks really, really comfortable running the football, but it's just, he just rushed a little bit. He's going to calm down. He's going to be fine. Almost trying to just kind of aim it instead of just winging it. Something tricky going on here. And we've got a timeout, I believe, by the Clark coaches. Gerald Green will make the call.
Win and win.
Tell you what, can't say enough about the Clark Cougars here. I mean, you know, both teams really trying to feel their way through their first drives. Churchill goes down and scores, and now look at Clark's put together a nice drive to counterpunch.
Coaches didn't like something, and this is a very, very important down here as they're moving into the red zone. Let's go down to the sidelines and Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, and of course, another big part of any high school game is the halftime shows and the bands. This is Tony Ruiz from the band director for Churchill. How you doing?
Doing great. Yeah, we're excited about, you know, the Gucci Bowl 50th anniversary. We're pumped. The crowd's pumped, so it's a good time out here.
They're definitely pumped. I couldn't hear anything. I was here a little while ago. Okay, so you guys, we were talking to the Cougar side. They said they had about 180. You have even more than that in the band, right?
Yeah, we're about 250 this year. We keep increasing year to year. We're excited about it. With a young class, not many seniors graduating, so I'd expect us to go up to about 280 next year.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you rely on the juniors and seniors just like they do on the football field to kind of carry it?
Big time. Over the past couple of years, we've grown the program, and we've kind of been a young program, and now we're starting to see a lot more maturity in our students, and we could rely on them and to carry the freshmen through on their first experience.
All right. Well, good luck this year. I wish you the best in all the competitions, and we're looking forward to hear you tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Like to play 3rd down short.
All right, thanks, Mike. 3rd down and extremely short for Clark here. Less than a yard inside the Charger 10. Bivens has it. Flags fly as he pulls his way inside the 5, right down to it. This might be offsides on Churchill. They moved first, and Clark may have to either just keep it or decline the penalty.
Oh, Jake went all Aaron Rodgers on us there at quarterback. He had a couple of guys jumping around down there on the other side. You know, Aaron Rodgers so good at that, Don, as you know, with the cadence and trying to trip guys up.
You get him to jump, especially if you have a timeout beforehand, which they did, and you're able to tell your guys, hold your water, boys. Don't nobody move.
And they did, and they get a fresh set. Yeah, I'm liking those Cougs helmets.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, they got the Coug in black right there on the front, and then this kind of abstract Coug head on the, you know. I know uniforms, man, and this is a good one. This is a good helmet. Stay with it for a few years, Cougs.
See the Cougs wearing number 12 on their helmet too. That's a really classy gesture on the part of these guys. And you know, Don, there have been things going on at Clark all week with kids making banners and students signing them. I mean, everybody's been touched by the power of death.
Bivens keeps it down to the 5, and flag flies late. You know, when we were growing up, Chuck, everybody kind of stayed in their school and in their neighborhood. And nowadays, kids play so much club ball, whether it's YMCA or AAU. Let's listen in. That all of these kids, you know, the Johnson kids, the Reagan kids, the entire Reagan football team showed up at Josh's funeral in their Reagan gear, sat together. It was one of the classiest things you've ever seen. The kids that, one of the kids that gave the speech was Josh's best friend, went to Johnson, and they played ball together all the way through. I know your boy played ball with Josh, and he goes to Clark. And, you know, the whole community, because of the way these kids participate in club sports, and Facebook now has brought everybody closer together. And so these kids who are little buddies in elementary school, they go to different middle schools or different high school, they stay connected. And so his death, and especially the kind of kid that Josh Pollard was, I mean, he was not only a fantastic athlete, but a student, counseled kids at church camps, and we'll continue talking about Josh Pollard as we pay tribute as well all night long. Churchill leads at 6-0. We're through one quarter here at Comalander Stadium. We're back. Churchill leads at 6-0 as we start the second quarter, and that means it's time for our first quarter highlights, brought to you tonight by Miracle Mattress. And in a 6-0 ball game, there was only the one big score, Diego Vela picking up the first down, losing the first down, and gaining so much more. Bouncing to the outside for the first touchdown of the season for Churchill, and a 6-0 lead. Clark, though, is threatening. We're starting the second quarter with Clark almost in the exact same spot that Diego was when they scored. They are in the Vogue College of Cosmetology red zone here in the second quarter.
And it might be Luke McGee time, my friend.
Why not? He's 6'9".
And we're all not.
He runs to the near side. That's him standing right above the word Churchill on your screen.
The kid dwarfing 85.
And Jake instead keeps, and he's inside the 10. And the Clark coaching staff, and maybe even Jake himself, has audibled a couple of times. Like, hey, fellas, there's nobody home right behind the center. Let's run that thing.
I mean, you have all these different weapons as they do at Clark outside and inside. I mean, you can kind of mix it up and do whatever you need to do. But it was a really nice play by Jake Stewart, whether that play was called from the sideline or at the line of scrimmage, to get some of those yards back after the hold.
Seth Jaquist, Court's little brother, with the tackle on that last play. Second down and goal. Sims lines up in the backfield. Stewart keeps himself. He's down to the 2. 2 flags fly on the near side, and that may be coming back. Ben Andrade with the tackle.
A really good read again by the Red Rocket, just kind of picking his way, plugging his way down by the goal line. But as you said, you got a running play like that and you see a bunch of hankies on the ground, that's usually not a good thing for the offense.
They're going to back it up. And now we may be seriously looking at Luke McGee time. You know, Clark was only 2-8 a year ago, and they play in a very tough district. But from all accounts, they gave Reagan, who's expected to be very good, pretty much all they could handle in a scrimmage just a couple of weeks ago. McGee, one of those reasons, and Stewart, the other.
You know, and the fragility of something like that, Don, you know, if Clark stays healthy, they're probably going to be in the race. If they don't, well, it's going to be a trouble. And that was part of the problem last year, was just keeping enough kids healthy.
Churchill's got 3 guys over there. Stewart sees it, keeps it, hit hard, right at the 10. That's going to set up third down and goal. Matt Elizondo, the junior defensive end, in on the tackle.
Yeah, and our man Jake was too. Look at that kid.
Whenever there's a big collision, Court is all over it.
Man, I'm freaking looking at Brian Urlacher over there. Jeepers creepers, get off me.
He is a football player. We saw that last year. He was all over the field last year in the same game.
A plugger.
All right, the big target we've talked about, the coach's son, 6'9", Luke McGee, at the bottom of your screen, singled up in coverage. Safety rolls to that side. Here's Stewart, keeps again and doesn't go anywhere. And Churchill's fired up as the Chargers are going to force them into a 4th down here. And they're going to come on and attempt a field goal. Ben Andrade with the stop.
Yeah, you know, the Cougs, some good and some bad. Obviously, it was pretty cool that they were able to get the ball and drive it all the way down the field, but the 2 holding penalties, just too much to overcome in this drive. And they're hoping that they can convert on the field goal here, so at least take away 3 from that long possession.
Forrest Diaz, a senior, on to attempt a 28-yarder. The ball spotted at the 18. Hold is mishandled. Clark screams fire.
Ben Hooper with the football.
Ben Hooper does what he can, but the Cougars are going to come away with no points as Court Jaquez ran him down. But there is a flag down. Let's see what it is.
Well, that's a tough series for Clark to finish that up like that.
Yeah, something went wrong on the exchange.
Yeah, it was a low snap. Hooper
handling.
Yeah, he dug it out. It was a low snap. He found the ears, and then it's like, yeah, you're right. He's yelling fire, but nobody's breaking out. Let's go down to Mike down on the sideline.
The co-owner of Countrywide Service, this is Shirley Smith. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hey, thanks for joining us, and thanks for being our presenting sponsor this year. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity. We love to be able to support the kids and to come out of here and see them start out with a great game, right? The Gucci Bowl.
And you said you have a lot of workers that have been with you that have kids and grandkids and stuff, so you wanted to be a part of this.
Absolutely. We don't have anyone here tonight, but I know we've got a lot of people watching the game that have had kids that have gone to both schools on the field and in band, and so yeah, it's a great tradition for us. We love it.
All right, well, thank you so much again for being with us. We're looking forward to you all staying with us the entire year, and we'll see you again in, I guess, next week or in the weeks ahead.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, Ms. Smith, Countywide, great to have them sponsoring TNL this year. They sponsor a lot of things on News 4 and on Fox 29 and CW35, and we're glad to have them on board this year. It's our title sponsor here on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, along with Church's.
I got a chance to see old Ben Hooper a lot on the baseball field as a freshman, Don. Kid got a lot of at-bats as a freshman and really looked the part. I mean, and he didn't look like he panicked right there. He's the backup quarterback as a sophomore and took a little bit of a lick after that play. But, you know, Ben Hooper, one of those kids that's wise beyond his years.
All right, so I know Clark is a little disappointed they didn't come away with points on that drive. They were threatening and right there in it. Instead, Billups has it with 9:12 to play. Churchill deep in their own territory. Vela's got it on the carry. He bounces it this time outside and almost broke it. He popped across the 20 before Dalton Jones, the junior corner, brings him down. Well, he was very close to a first down and pretty close to breaking it open.
Isn't it interesting, Don? You know, Churchill's dealing with some early season injuries, and then Vela, you know, maybe at the beginning of the season, maybe was not on the coaching radar so much, but that young man is earning himself some touches here tonight.
Not only with his power, he looks like a power back, but the way he bounced that touchdown run shows vision and speed. He's got it again right here. Tried to bounce that one and go backwards. It's 6 Cougars say, not this time.
Yeah, Mets goal. Jeepers creepers. He stood him up. 98. Good play there by the Cougs. They needed a defensive stand, and he just did that Cam Newton thing on the field, too.
Jesus Solis with the tackle.
What's that called? The dab?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Your hip?
I thought it was the Dougie, but I'm glad I said dab.
Now, see, that's not good. See, the Dougie was like, 10 years ago. 3rd down and 3 for Churchill. Billups with 3 receivers and Vela next to him. Gets to Diego. Not a bad call if you're the coach. If I need 3 yards, I'm going to give it to that kid. That's going to be a little bit short, it looks like. And so it'll set up a 4th down for Churchill deep in their own territory. But it's going to be 4th and, I don't know, maybe a full yard. It looked like he got more than that, but he's well short.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to play the field position game here. I mean, that was one of the things Coach Harris preached about all week, was that he wants to win the field position game. So Maybe he's got a trick up his sleeve here deep in his own end, but I doubt it. He's got the lead, 6-point lead, 7.5 left to go here in the second quarter. Kick it away and see if your defense can get a stop, but a nice job by the Cougs there after yielding the touchdown on the previous possession.
Nick Folson, the sophomore punter, set to kick it away. Bivens standing at midfield for the Cougars. Whistles fly as the snap bounced back. They'll stop play.
Left game. Offense. Number 19. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Tell you what, that might have been the best 5-yard penalty that Churchill's going to take all night, because that thing looked like it was going to go sideways in a hurry had the whistle not blown.
You're just buying him a little bit more real estate to be a little more comfortable there. Not going to make a huge difference.
You got to get that snap back there. That's the second one that's kind of wobbled back. There you go.
Folson's punt is a good one on the fly past the 50. Bivens has it at the 45, and he's drilled right there by big number 76.
Tyler Ellis, too. Nice job, kids.
Yeah, Arthur Zenarovin. They call him the Russian Bear. He's from Russia with the tackle. 37 yards on the punt. We're back with Churchill leading 6-0.
Yeah.
All right, and welcome back. Look at this pretty lady who's joining me today. This is Caitlin Munoz, and she's the new CW Insider. How are you doing?
I am so excited for high school football. It's so big here in Texas. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, so there's also a lot of new faces, a lot of new eyes that are going to be on CW, and it's an opportunity to do something that you guys do all the time. Tell us about that.
Okay, so people need to pull out their phones because I know they have them with them. If they text CW Crew to the number 45203, it's very easy. You can sign up to win lots of cool things. We're going to give away Texans tickets very soon.
Wow.
Comic-Con stuff, so if you're into Comic-Con, you should totally stay tuned for that because we'll have lots of other giveaways.
You've seen me dressed up as Captain America, so
yeah,
you already know the answer to that.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, no.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Look forward to talking to you next week. Back to you guys. Hey, I look good in spandex.
No.
Come on.
And you're all black tonight there, Johnny Cash. Nice work.
Clap your hands.
Inside handoff to Bivens. He crosses the 45. He's got some space to bounce it outside, but Churchill runs him down with Thomas Sherrick on the outside.
Let's go, boys, you
It's close to a first down. Sherrick teamed up with Alec Riley, about a yard short.
Yeah, there's going to be a chance maybe here down in the near future that we're going to see Bivens at quarterback for this school. I mean, this is a young man that has seen some time at that spot before. He suffered an injury last year that they kind of felt like he missed some time or too much time. It really couldn't get him acclimated to that spot, but I think they got something at running back here. And, you know, he's one of those kids that, you know, Clark seems to have him everywhere. You know, you get a kid and then plug him in, he can play any spot, but this Bivens kid is the real deal.
There's Stewart over the middle to Bivens.
Feeling it.
Boy, now that looked like a comfortable throw by Jake Stewart, who sat down and just delivered it right on the money. Brandon Eisenhart with the tackle, but it's a big-time game, and that's an impromptu immediate care first down.
And that's what you want to see with a kid that's, you know, getting his first varsity snaps, really, you know, running the team, is get some of those short, dumpy throws down first, and then that's going to make him feel a little more comfortable throwing the football downfield. But good pitch and catch, and Clark is on the move, getting a mulligan after that last donut on the last drive.
McGee still has only been targeted once. No receptions. They run Bivens, or Jake was keeping it again after he faked the Bivens, but again, flags fly and more penalties in week 1, which is not uncommon. Here's Gerald Green.
False start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know what I said on the last drive about that being a really good penalty for Churchill? I think that was going to be the same thing for Clark, because Eisenhart read that thing all the way. That was going to be a negative play for Clark either way.
And still you got first down.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So the Cougs having a hard time here keeping the Hankies on the sideline.
3 receivers for Stewart with Bivens next to him on 1st and 15. He's looking at McGee, throws that way. McGee was covered up, thought we might see a flag, but he made the catch instead, and it's a good for about a 10-yard gain.
Can't say enough about not only the throw, but the catch on that too, because, you know, Jake really did a nice job hanging in there and delivering it late. And then McGee really showing off the hands. I mean, he's really grown into that spot out at the wide receiver spot. He's going to have a big year.
Downfield, offense, 55 and 55. 5-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so they call ineligible man downfield. A couple of linemen leaked out while they were waiting for this play to develop. And sure enough, that was A, pass interference, B, ball may have hit the ground, and C, an illegal man downfield. So they'll do it again, except this time it's 1st and 20 from the 35.
Yeah, you're going to have to find the big fella down the middle here at some point.
Bivens has it, running right at the linebackers, now tries to bounce it outside. Oh, he gets clocked as he's near the outside, and that has to be Court Jaquez. That has to be. Anybody going backwards that fast, that hard, after running into a wall, has to be met by number 42.
I mean, Bivens doing everything, cutting it back against the grain, and I don't know, was it Jaquez?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was. Yeah, like I really had to think about that one.
And I think we may already have our hit of the night queued up.
Our pick and pull collision of the night.
There you go. 2nd down and 15. Ball to 27. Stewart goes over the middle. He's got that big receiver. That was intended for Sims, the tight end. Just missed it.
Yeah, a lot of pressure in the backfield that time. Churchill doing a nice job putting the pressure on, but nice route.
I'm telling you, if 85 is 6'9", then how tall is 86? Because I was confused there for a second. Clark's got some height at both the wide receiver and the tight end spots. Big 3rd down for Clark here. They just want to get Diaz a chance at a field goal here if they can't pick up the 1st down. Definitely a throwing situation here for Stewart. Straight drop. Little shuffle pass to Bivens. Great call. He gets outside to the 20. He's got the 1st down. He might score. Bivens is out at about the 7-yard line. Fantastic call by the Clark coaches. Grant Gomez finally pushes him out of bounds, but not before he gets into an impromptu immediate care 1st down and our Vogue College of Cosmetology red zone.
How about that, Don? I mean, you talk about sucker punching the other guy. I mean, you got everybody split wide, run everybody down the field. Then you let all those big defensive linemen come into the backfield. Then you shuffle pass, let your player make a play. Really nice play by Coach McGee and company.
All right, Luke McGee one-on-one on the outside. Let's see if he looks that way. Stewart keeps it himself. He's got his eye on the pylon. He gets there. Did he score?
Yeah,
touchdown. The official a little late giving us a signal, but a nice job by Jake Stewart to find his way to pay dirt, and we're all knotted up at 6.
Gotta like the competitive nature of these Clark Cougars. I mean, that last drive could have been really devastating to do all that stuff, come away with no points, but the Clark defense set this up, got a quick 3 and out. The Cougs, even with all these penalties, keep shooting themselves in the foot, still getting the house. Look at the Red Rocket feeling his oats, getting that first punch of the season.
All right, so Diaz on to give Clark their first lead of the game. Hooper, the holder. The kick is up. The kick is good, and Clark leads it 7-6. A good football game here at Comalander Stadium. It's the Gucci Bowl. Jake Stewart has Clark on top of Churchill. We've got 4:12 to play in the first half. Much more football coming from Comalander after this. Welcome back to the Gucci Bowl. Thursday Night Lights, our first installation of the season on the CW35. And if I didn't know better, Chuck, I'd say that's Major Applewhite celebrating a touchdown over there.
His booty's not as big.
Jake Stewart leading the Cougars on a touchdown drive. The extra point is good, so they lead the football game 7-6 over Churchill. John O'Connor Rule will kick it off for Clark, as Churchill will try to get on the board one more time before the half ends. Malik Fletcher back to receive the kick. Zach Cuellar also back there with him. And full disclosure, I'm a Churchill grad. and Chuck has children that have all gone to Clark. So we, friendly wager here on this game. As it is a fair catch caught.
Either that or a fist fight in the parking lot after the ball game.
Yeah, so anybody who is going to accuse me of being biased during this broadcast, we balanced it out with one Chuck McAtinnick who actually cheered when Jake hit the cone on the touchdown.
It was a silent cheer.
I was happy for Jake, too. That was a heck of a drive and a great play by a great kid.
Well, they had such a rough year last year, Don, only 2 wins. And, you just want to see these kids, they're working hard to try to get better and to have a good season. And it's just nice to see something good happen to good kids. And it's going to be fun to watch both of these teams and see what they do this year, too. But, hey, it's like, man, my kid grew up with Jordan Billups, too, and some of these other kids. So I just want to see them all do well.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch them grow up and become good athletes and great kids. And Diego Vela pops through, picks up about 6 more yards, and that's kind of what the legacy of Josh Pollard is about tonight. A lot of schools, a lot of teams don't do this. I would think we've seen schools lose other players, but Josh, his teammates are the ones that came up with these ideas of that 12 on the helmet and carrying his jersey to every midfield coin flip and leaving the hole for him during the national anthem. And I got to tell you, man, sitting there during that memorial service and hearing just all the things that he did as a friend, as a teammate, as a counselor to younger kids, just wow, just an amazing young man. Look at
Cheerleaders, get ready for 2 bits.
Blake Fletcher getting his first carry of the night, picks up a Promptu first down. Brought to you by Promptu Immediate Care. New sponsor with us this year. And as you can see, we got 3:24 left here in the half. Churchill trailing by a point.
2 bits.
And you see Clark playing a little loose on defense here. They want to just try to make sure everything stays in front of them right now. Trying to protect the 1-point lead here with 3:15 left to go in the first half.
Churchill calling everything at the line of scrimmage. Billups throws underneath and just couldn't quite find Fletcher, who was coming out on the underneath part of the route. You see those shirts right there, LLJ, Live Like Josh. And it's more than just a football team.
I mean, look at this place. It's packed tonight.
And the entire student body, they're helping pay tribute to their friend.
Yeah, like I said, they're doing the same thing over at Clark. I mean, the art class over at Clark was making banners and having kids sign it. I mean, it's really been something that's touched both communities. Wow.
Billups still on his feet after
sure was.
Forward progress was stopped, but he wasn't about to go down.
98 on the stop. This is Solis.
And Chuck, we want to say one other thing about the Pollard family. Both of you and I have both noticed the incredible strength shown by Dan and Stacy Pollard and their 2 boys, Mason and Kyle. We got to know Kyle really well during the first McAllister run, the Little League World Series in Williamsport. You and I both went to Williamsport, and Kyle was first baseman and pitcher on that team, and he was 12 years old. Now he's in college, and his younger brother passes away. But the way that Dan and Stacy and Mason and Kyle all have handled this with such class and dignity and faith as Billups gets loose. Look at Billups across the 35, across the 30 of just strength. I don't know how else to say it other than it's admirable. I don't know many other people or families that have been able to do what they've done.
As we take another look at Jordan Billups, just a player making a play, 3rd and forever, and Jordan gets himself some space, but we do have a young man down on the field.
We'll take a break while they attend to the injured player. We're coming back with Clark leading Churchill 7-6 at the Gucci Bowl. All right, time to tell you about our $2,500 band grant from North Carolina Furniture Direct. One of the bands that performs on TNL this year is going to win a $2,500 band grant. It's all based on votes, so get your phones ready. Stay tuned for the halftime show for information on how to vote for your favorite band. The $2,500 band grant is made possible by North Carolina Furniture Direct. First down for the Chargers on the 30-yard line of Clark. Billups calling the signals. keeping it to the near side, being chased, but he's got speed. He's got the corner, and he gets out around the 20-yard line before being forced out by Matthew Ozuna.
That's one of those things that Clark's got to do a little bit of better job of holding the edge, but I guess easier said than done when you have a supreme athlete like Jordan Billups. The old read option, bounces it left, and then just gets to the edge. And when he gets there, it's Katie bar the door. I mean, he's going to pretty much beat who's ever trying to chase him and get positive yards on the play, which he does. And Churchill, to their credit, now knocking on the door after giving up the lead just a short time ago.
1:55 to go in the half. Ron Harris looking on as his offense is inside the red zone. Vela's got it. Bounces it across the 25. Austin Alvarado has been all over the place for the Cougars tonight, as the Chargers are inside the Vogue College of Cosmetology red zone.
Yeah, Ryan Booth, big 78, open up a big hole there too. You know, when you're getting this much yards, or this many yards on the ground, you certainly got to give those big guys up front some credit.
Second down, 7 to go, ball's on the 15. New formation for Churchill as we have a fullback lined up in offset formation. Billups scrambling, and he's dusted right there at the 20-yard line. Clint Westmoreland for the second time tonight showing great pursuit right up the middle. And coming up, we've got our Cerritos Mexican Restaurant halftime show. Got the Clark Band, the Churchill Band, all brought to you by Cerritos. And we also have our Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week. Don't miss the halftime show. Some people like it better than the game itself. We show you the bands. It's part of our tradition here on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. But first things first, Churchill threatening 3rd and 11 with 35 seconds to go. And the Clark defensive coaches wanted to take a timeout.
Don, on that previous play, really good job by Billups just eating the football.
That's that third and final timeout of the half.
I mean, all his receivers were covered downfield. Austin Bernard really doing a good job for Clark at that time, taking the deep guy on the back end here by the left pylon. And Billups had him for a second, he thought, but instead, you know, why risk it? I mean, you live to fight another day, and you're standing here have a chance to get a field goal and take the lead.
After the game tonight on the CW35, we've got DC Legends of Tomorrow and Beauty and the Beast. So when we're all done, keep it here on the CW35. 32 seconds to go. Churchill still has one timeout. Clark just burned their last. So if Churchill has to go over the middle somehow to get this, they have plenty of time to stop the clock one more time. I know offensive coordinators are always thinking touchdown. Head coaches are always thinking 3 minimum. I'll take 3 going into the locker room. As you see the rampant lion.
Well, the one thing you want to do, is, I mean, it's 3rd and long.
No.
You know, nothing else here. You want to make sure on 4th down, you're at least lining it up to take the lead. 32 seconds left. It's been a heck of a drive so far. You've done exactly what you wanted to do, and that's at least get a chance to get 3 points.
They're giving Billups lots of options, 4 wide for him. Run the zone read. He's going to throw it over the middle and caught. Touchdown, Churchill. It's Groff. Jacob Groff, the senior, comes up with it after an absolute pee from the gun of Jordan Billups.
What a route, what a throw. Billups rolling to his right, throws off his back foot, and you're right, Don, threw a zipper right across the middle. Couldn't have hit number 8 any better, right in the chest. Split that 8 in half. What a bounce back drive for Churchill as they take the lead right before the half.
Cole Trevor Wilson missed his first attempt at the PAT. This one's up, and it's good. And Churchill now has a 13-7 lead on Clark. I thought he threw it behind Capobianco, number 80, but he had his Groff in his sights the entire way.
No, and Groff did a really nice job sitting down there in the soft part of the zone. You know, Clark doing everything they thought they could do, keeping everything in front of them. But sometimes guys like Groff, you give them a little bit too much space to operate, and they're going to burn you. And that's exactly what Billups and Groff did right there.
Have I told you how much Sinclair San Antonio and our trio of networks is just all over football? As if, you know, Thursday Night Lights and Max and Friday Night Fever isn't enough. Look, I mean, we have the Cowboys at 9 o'clock tonight on Fox 29. We got the Chargers and Vikings. We got the Cardinals and Texans at 3, a doubleheader on Fox on Sunday. We got Sunday Night Football with the Bengals and Jaguars tonight on News 4 at 7 o'clock, or this coming Sunday. We're running some preseason game tonight as well. We can't get enough football. And your America's Diamond kickoff, kind of a squibber. And Chuck and I are really fired up to be doing 5 select UTSA football games, including their home opener against Alabama State next Saturday at the Alamo Dome at 6 o'clock on the CW35. We've got 5 games this year for the Roadrunners. Alabama State, we're flying to Virginia for the game with Old Dominion. Then we have Southern Miss against UTSA. That will be on the American Sports Network. We're back here on the CW35 for UTEP UTSA, the alma mater, taking on UTSA on the 29th. And we're traveling to Ruston for the La Tech game as well. Chuck, you ever been to Ruston?
No, but I've been to Shreveport nearby. Liked it. Had a good time.
I'm going to take you to Frank and Janie's seafood restaurant.
All right.
It's still there. It was on our old, when I was at North Texas, we had that whole Southland Conference, Northeast Louisiana Tech.
I went to Shreveport one time for a Cowboys-Saints scrimmage. And boy, did I have a good time there. I'm not going to
That's where they had
any stories that I had there, but I had a really good time.
Isn't that where the Aggies played the Snow Liberty Bowl? What was the?
Yeah, it was
not the Liberty. That's Memphis. Independence
Bowl. That's right.
Yeah. Inside handoff to Bivens.
Number 5
picks up about 4. Brandon Eisenhart with the tackle.
Gonna let it go. Gonna let it go.
And that's going to take us to halftime. Churchill leads it 13-7 after a Billups to Groff touchdown pass late in the second quarter. And so after Clark had bounced back to take the lead, the Chargers answer. Our Mike Hernandez running down Ron Harris, and he's got him all hooked up. Mike, take it away.
All right, so Coach, very competitive first half.
Very competitive first half. You got 2 teams that are out there playing hard, giving it all they've got, but there's some first game mistakes happening in terms of penalties and things on both sides. I know Coach McGee's probably not happy, and I know we're not happy.
What do you think you're going to have to do to clean it up in the second half?
Well, we just got to go back and you got to play like you practice, and you got to trust your fundamentals, and you got to trust your training and not abandon those things when you're in the heat of competition.
All right, well, good luck in the second half. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we appreciate Coach as well. He's fired up. He's not happy with his team, but he still took the time to talk to us and talk to Mike. You see the Clark Band, we're coming back with the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant halftime show. Don't miss it. The halftime show right up next on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Welcome to the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant halftime show.
All right, welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, the Cerritos halftime show. The Clark Cougar Band is up first. Let's listen in.
cat captain for this year is Kendra Miller. The top cat officers for this year are co-captain Alexander Ingram, co-captain Victoria Graham, and co-captain Aaron Tillman. Top officers are Colonel Kendall Poole and Lieutenant Colonel Kristen Rosenberg. Top cat of the week is Victoria Lewis. This cat of the week is Tori Hamilton. Governor of the week is Taylor Smith and Gabriella Aguero. And the cheerleader of the week is Jenna Foster. And now, the Mighty Cougar Band will perform their 2016 Sunday competition show entitled The Barber, featuring music from Sweeney Todd, The Barber of Seville, and Samuel Barber.
It is time to vote. That's right. If you want to vote for the Clark Band, just text BAND1 to 54203. That's BAND1 without any spaces. For complete texting guidelines, just go to the CW35.com, and the Cougar Band would have a chance at our $2,500 band grant. We're coming back with the Mighty Charger Band right after this.
Welcome to the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show.
We're back for the Cerritos Halftime Show. You've seen the Clark Cougars, and now The Lancer Dancers and the Charger Marching Band taking the field for Churchill.
Commander Montserrat Romo and Co-Commander Sarah Bernal. Miss High Kick of the Week, Taylor Stroud. Miss Drill Team of the Week, Maddie Boyle. Head Cheerleader, Hannah Schaefer. Co-Head Cheerleader, Sydney Turpin. Freshman Cheerleader of the Week, Audrey Shaw. Deputy Cheerleader of the Week, Ashley Ramirez. Varsity Cheerleader of the Week, Stratton Seawater. Squad members of the Week, Jules Gonzalez and Annika Mata. Sit back and enjoy. performance and join in with us as we cheer on our Chargers to victory. Let's hear it for Dr. New. The Charger Marching Band wishes to thank their parents, chaperones, and volunteers for all of their tireless work and support throughout the year.
Hey, if you'd like to vote for the Churchill Charger Band for our band grant, text Band 2 to 45203. That's Band 2 to 45203. No spaces. And for complete texting guidelines, go to the CW35.com. We're back with the second half of Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Churchill leading Clark 13-7 right after this.
Welcome to the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show.
Our Cerritos halftime show continues here at Jerry Comalander Stadium. Churchill leading Clark 13-7. Right now it's time to recognize some great, hardworking kids with tonight's Scholar Athletes of the Week, presented by Vulcan Materials Company.
Meet Johanna Gunther, a senior at Churchill High School and a 4-year member of the cross-country team. Some people take up sports from watching it on TV or seeing other students or friends competing. Johanna's inspiration, though, to take up the sport came up from one of her family members.
My brother inspired me to run because he did cross-country when he was in high school. And so I've kind of just fallen in love with it and been doing it ever since.
She said she loves running now, but when I asked her if it was something she took to right away,
no, definitely not. I remember the first day of practice, I thought I was gonna die because I did not work out all summer and I was so out of shape, but just kept going every day and working hard, so got better at it.
And working hard is something that shows up in a lot of what Johanna does and has accomplished. She has a GPA of 109, and when she's not running, she's volunteering at St. Luke's Baptist Hospital and has volunteered hundreds of hours at the Children's Association for Maximum Potential as a group counselor.
I like to be at that camp for the kids so that they can kind of be more independent and kind of just have fun just like any other kid would at any other camp. So.
Luke McGee is a multiple sports student and, like Johanna, fills his time off trying to help others.
I've been on the football team for 4 years, the basketball team for 4 years, varsity football for 3 years, and the basketball team for 2 years.
Luke says he enjoys being a senior leader on the team and does his best to help out where he can.
I try to make everyone feel important on the team, you know, whether they're starting or third string, it doesn't matter. They're all important, and I just want to encourage everybody to do their best all the time. And you know, when I was younger, I always looked up to those people, and sometimes I didn't always feel as important. So I want to make sure that everybody feels just as important as I do.
And he is pretty important to the teams. He was a unanimous first-team All-District wide receiver last year and second-team All-District in basketball. Now, he also is a mentor at Lock Hill Elementary and is in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which he says he thinks is very important.
And so I really like to have the whole team there. We don't always have a huge showing, but the people that do come, they're dedicated and they like to show up, and we pray at the end, and it's usually, you know, the day before a game.
Congratulations to Luke McGee and Johanna Gunther, the Vulcan Materials Company's Scholar Athletes of the Week.
Thanks for watching the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff.
We're back. Time for our America's Diamond second half kickoff. Churchill kicking the ball away to Clark. Billups is going to let this one bounce through the end zone. And it's going to be a touchback. And now it's time for our Miracle Mattress highlights of the first half. And, well, the Churchill Chargers struck first. Diego Vela going 19 yards. He went in, he went out, he went around, and he scored to put Churchill up 6-0, but Clark answered early in the first half. Jake Stewart led the Cougars down the field, and then he scores himself. Jake getting to the pylon, Chuck cheering, Jake diving. Clark took the 7-6 lead, but late in the half, Jordan Billups drove the Chargers down the field, and he hits his big receiver Groff for the touchdown. Churchill added the PAT, and it's 13-6, and that's where we stand right now with Jake Stewart and company in business at their own 25-yard line, as Clark will have it first to start the second half. You're watching Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, our first game of the year, and we're in store for a good one here in the second half. Stewart, like he did most of the first half, keeping it, stiff-arming the defensive end who was trying to run him down. That was Braden Eisenhart. We've called his name quite a bit today. And Chuck, let's take a look at the first half stats. Churchill run the ball a little better, but fairly even, and as both coaches a little upset, but 3 penalties apiece, not that bad.
No, and I think both teams did some really nice things in that first half, and it was kind of interesting, Don. Both teams kind of struggled with their first offensive series, but after that, a little bit of rhythm, and we're starting to see what I think we're going to see all year from these teams, and they're going to get better as the season goes along.
All right, second down and 9 as Bivens carries, and Jaquist closed the gap quickly, coming up from his middle linebacker spot to nail that door shut.
Yeah, Park going a little wildcat action there, and Churchill having none of it. They knew when Bivens lined up to get the ball back there that he was going to do one thing and one thing only, and that was run the football.
So that'll set up 3rd and long. Big conversion here as Clark is deep in its own territory. As Chuck pointed out, the 12 that Clark is wearing, a classy move to honor the fallen Charger, Josh Pollard. You can see that on their helmets. Almost 3rd and 10. It's a long 9 for Stewart. More flags, and these are the penalties that have haunted both teams all night. They'll back it up after a false start, and it'll be more like 3rd and 15.
One of those wide receivers on the left side tried to get a little quick start out of there and jumped the shark a little bit. And that is not helping the Cougs' cause right here. I mean, obviously, you get the ball to start the second half. You want to do something positive with that. I remember George Allen, the old Redskin coach, used to say, most important series in the second half, the first one. Sets the tone for the rest of the night.
3rd down and 14. Stewart fires over the middle. He's got his tight end, Sims, and he's got a first down. Ben Sims picking up the first down here, and that's a Braceland first down for the Cougs. Luke Rosas with the coverage and the tackle.
Yeah, that was one of the kids, we were talking to Coach McGee earlier this week. He really is thrilled about the kids that he has outside to catch the football, and Sims was one of the guys he singled out. You tell Jake Stewart likes targeting him as well. Huge pickup on 3rd and long.
Sets up a first down for the Cougars at their own 40 for Stewart. Keeps it himself again, trying to get outside, but Churchill's kind of on to that now. It worked a little bit in the first half, but the Chargers are being a little more patient, spying Stewart. We heard Mike Hernandez talking to Ron Harris as he exited the field at the half, very upset with kind of the rushed play. He also talked to Steve McGee. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Mike. Mike?
Okay, yeah, Coach was, again, upset at the missed opportunities, just like Coach Harris. He said he also took responsibility for some at least one poor call in a very, very critical condition in a situation there. He said other than that, the boys played physical. He was very happy with how hard they were playing. He did say they're going to try to pay much more attention to both offensively and defensively on 3rd down. They let a few situations get away from them, and they also missed some of those because of penalties.
All right, thanks, Mike. Clark run the option. Thomas Sherrick, the senior corner. Grant Gomez team up on the tackle on Jake Stewart. Ball rests at the 44, and another time for a big 3rd down conversion for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was one of those plays right there. Jake was stringing that play out as long as he could, thought about pitching it at the last second, but I think as the season goes along, he's going to feel more and more comfortable with that kind of a play. And he still did a nice job turning it upfield and picking up a couple of yards.
Back to pass. Got time, got a man, throws it. It's caught. A beautiful catch by Ismail Sneed, who then broke a tackle and got all the way down. Well, they're gonna call him down there at the 30, and the Churchill coaches are screaming that he didn't catch the football.
I thought he did. He made a really nice adjustment coming for that football because the Chargers had 2 DBs back there. It looked like they were going to be able to break up that play, but Jake did a really nice job flipping it out there, giving this guy a chance to come down with the football.
They've overruled it.
Let's see.
They're saying no catch.
Well, let's take a look.
Don't have instant replay in high school football. I don't know if we have another look at that from a different angle, but it looked to me like he was all over it. Here's another angle. Stewart threw the football. He had it. Did he come down and control it to the ground? I guess that in Des Bryant terminology is no, he did not. Sure looked like it. Back in the day, that's a catch.
But did the kid on the other end catch the ball as it was being rebounded into the air?
We had that happen last year, remember? An interception when it popped off a guy's foot. And they didn't, of course, they would have given him possession in college or pro football, but no replay here. And we've got a snap on the loose.
Kick it.
And Churchill is in big-time field position business after a complete meltdown by the Clark special teams. Eisenhart and Grant Gomez came from their end positions after the snap just sailed over the head of Nick Falson, or excuse me, of Forrest Diaz. We're going to take a break. Churchill breathing on the doorstep when we come back. Welcome back to Thursday Night Lights. Churchill in business. They want to go on 1st and 10 inside the red line. It's zone. It's Vela. No gain. Anthony Garcia, linebacker of Clark, coming up to make the tackle.
Well, that was a huge play by Clark right there. I mean, your special teams just put you in a big-time hole. And, I mean, this is where football games are won and lost, Don, as you know. I mean, you played a really good football game here tonight. You have one special teams gaff. And that was a huge play right there by Clark to at least send the message, hey, guys, we're going to be here all night. I mean, we're going to bounce back and try to turn the page from what was really just a terrible play.
Fletcher and Alva split to the left-hand side. Vela's back there with Billups, who throws to this side. It's caught, and it looks like he's going to score, and he does. Malik Fletcher made a man miss, got to pay dirt, and Churchill, just like that, cashes in on a huge Clark mistake.
Yeah, Matthew Ozuna did a really nice job. I mean, he was right there. He got a little anxious trying to make the play. But just a better play. Look at that foot in the ground, man. I don't know if anybody would have stopped that anyway. That was just a really nice play by 6.
Wow, Fletcher made a fantastic catch there.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're going that way and then you just stick your foot in the ground and then cut it back the other way. Mercy. Good job, 6.
You know, I want to see that again, Chuck. I think, as we wait for the extra point, which is low but good. Churchill up 20-7. Chuck, I think he stuck his foot in the ground actually simultaneous to making the catch.
No, he did. Bam. Look, he juggled a little bit and cut it back. That may have actually helped him catch the ball.
Wow. Now that's athletic. Malik Fletcher, the play of the night so far. Churchill leads 20-7. We're back on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. 7:52 to play here in the third quarter. Churchill's scoring drive just took 2 plays after the mistake on the Clark special teams. Malik Fletcher with a 13-yard grab. Number 6 doing a nice job athletically to grab that football and score. And Churchill now leads by 2 touchdowns. And it is time for our America's Diamond kickoff. Cole Trevor Wilson doing the honors, and back deep again, as always, is Stewart and Bivens, the starting quarterback and tailback, are also the starting kick return men. This one's headed Bivens' way, and he'll eyeball it about the 2. He's got a wall in front of him. Cuts it to the left. He's got some room if he could beat one man, but he doesn't, because number 20 for Churchill was all over it, and that is Luke Rosas. Let's head down to the sidelines and Mike Hernandez.
All right, I'm joined by this lovely lady. This is Mary Ullman Jaffet from San Antonio Sports. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back on the field.
Yeah, well, apparently I'm hearing all these great things about you as an athlete when you were here at Churchill.
No, I didn't go to Churchill. My children go to Churchill.
That's what I said, when your children went to Churchill.
Yeah, I've got a daughter who's a sophomore now and a son who just graduated from Churchill.
I got you. So you're pulling for the Chargers tonight.
Yes.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right, yes.
Yes,
I'm a
I
Charger mom.
confess. All right, so tell us a little bit about this season's cheer campaign.
Yeah, that's right. Well, San Antonio Sports is very pleased to bring the All-Star football game to the community, and so on January 7th, we'll have all the senior All-Stars playing in the Alamo Dome, and it'll be really exciting. But leading up to that, we have the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge powered by CPS. And that is an opportunity for every cheer squad in the area, no matter the size of your school, whether you're public or private school. You can register your squad at cw35.com, and then in October 17th, we'll open it up for online voting. And the teams, the squad that wins the first prize gets a $500 grant, the second prize gets a $250 grant, and then the top 4 teams can choose to cheer at either the U.S. Army All-American Bowl or the All-Star Game.
Wow, okay, it's a lot to ingest there.
It is.
So I'm sure we'll have more opportunities to talk, but thank you for what you do.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. All right, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mary. Jake Stewart with a 27-yard run, his biggest play of the night. And Clark, Chuck, after getting hit in the mouth after that gut punch of basically a snap on special teams that leads to a touchdown, Jake's got him answering right back.
Yeah, I mean, you get a little roundhouse right and a jab, and just like that, you're on the other end of the field. I'll tell you what, Jake Stewart's going to fight you.
He may be more Major Applewhite in more ways than one.
Look at that. Get another extra yard, kid.
I noticed that, and just about every time they run the option, he wants to keep it. He wants contact, too. When he sees a linebacker come up, he seeks it out.
I'll tell you what.
He may think twice if it's Court Jaquist, but...
Well, I'll tell you, our man Braden Eisenhart, too. He looks like he ain't looking to back down from a fight either. That young man has been living on the other end of the line of scrimmage all night long, number 29 has.
We have called Eisenhart's name more than any other player on the field tonight, and he has done a fantastic job for the Chargers. 4 receivers for Stewart on 1st and 10 inside Churchill territory, and whistles blow as we've got another false start, and that's going to drive Steve McGree crazy, and he'll be looking at that film all week. You know who else has been better than week 1 form? Has been Gerald Green and his crew. It's week 1 for everybody. Coaches, referees, officials, play-by-play guys. As we look at the Monarch Trophy. Monarch Trophy, always our sponsor. One will go to the champion, the other one will go to our most valuable player tonight. And you can always order your Monarch Trophy goods at 344-3777. Bivens grinds. Tried to pick up about 2, but gets pulled back as Jim Foster and Ben Andrade were there. Boy, coaches can't talk well enough about Ben Andrade. Big number 92 up front, 2nd team all-district last year. 53 tackles.
Yeah, we're talking to Coach Harris this week, and he said, defensively we're about the same as we were last year. And remember, the Chargers had a winning record last year. He says they're a little bit more ahead of where they were last year at this time on offense. So this will be a team to be reckoned with when we start district play as well. They're not going to be an easy out.
Stewart running option, keeps again, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gains about 2. Brett Almus, the junior linebacker, there to bring him down. And Clark to another 3rd and long situation here. Chuck, are you surprised that they haven't targeted big Luke McGee more often?
Well, I think it's going to happen at some point, but let's be honest. Clark's had a pretty good night in terms of moving the football. It's been the penalties here and there that have kind of sidetracked some of these drives, but they've done a really good job finding all their receivers right now. But number 85 is going to be in the sights of the quarterback here at some point.
And they've rolled up a safety. That worked earlier That's an incomplete pass, and the whistle has to blow. Eisenhart there to break it up, as Bivens was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and he got a clean shot on Jake, too, and then picked him up afterwards, too. So a little nice sportsmanship there, too, by number 29.
It may have worked again if he was able to hang on to it, but Eisenhart coming off the corner forced Stewart to give it up a little earlier than he'd like to. All right, huge play here, because if you're the deep snapper for the Cougs, you've got a little bit of sweaty palms right here after that last snap. You just want to execute this and put Churchill deep in their own territory. Good snap. Churchill with nobody back, gonna let it bounce. Bounces inside the 10, is gonna roll all the way down to the 6. So Churchill's gonna have to go 94 if they're gonna add to this. They lead the Clark Cougars. It's the 33rd annual Gucci Bowl. Churchill in control right now by 2 touchdowns here on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Closed captioning of tonight's game is brought to you by Rodriguez Butcher Supply.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Countywide service sponsor of this half. Churchill leading it 20-7. 4:26 to play in the third quarter, and the Chargers backed up inside their own 10-yard line. It's a Braceland first down for Jordan Billups, who's really done a good job running this Churchill offense tonight. 3 receivers for him. 1 comes in motion. That's Malik. Hands it to Fletcher. Fletcher bounces it to the outside. He's got some room. Fletcher picks up a first down and more. Malik Fletcher just kind of tiptoeing down the sideline. And we'll see where they spot it, but that's a nice gain of 18 yards for Fletcher.
Yeah, take the wide receiver, let him get the ball on a little around play. Doing a nice job and mixing it up here for Churchill as they bounce one outside.
Fletcher's been their go-to guy. Billups hands inside to Vela. Picks up about 1. Big Anthony Garcia. Fabian Cervantes, the senior defensive lineman, there to make the tackle.
Yeah, both of these teams have done some good things tonight, defensively and offensively. We talk about the powerhouse districts that they're both in. 27-6A, 28-6A. And you're just getting a prize fight every single week. And then these guys playing each other in their non-conference schedule too. Should help bake them before they get to district play.
Alva Groff follows the receivers. Billups has a man, throws it to him, and just missed him. He did a great job of buying himself a little time, but just couldn't hit his intended receiver, Derek Pettis, who's in there for the first time.
Yeah, and Anthony Garcia doing a really nice job at the point of attack right there, really disrupting that play. Got in the face of Billups, jumped up and made him kind of do a little switcheroo and move around to the left. Billups doing a nice job though too, kind of freestyling over there. And darn near made a positive play out of something that really was slow in developing.
All right, Alva split out to the far side. Groff is inside of him at the bottom of your screen. And Churchill's going to want to talk this over. On third down and a long 9 deep in their own territory. Ron Harris didn't like something that he saw as they were a little confused lining this one up, so he'll take a timeout. Time for the UIW Smile Cam. The Chargers all smiles right now, up 20-7. Smile Cam brought to you by the University of the Incarnate Word, where you can earn a degree of difference. That's right, everybody, you're on TV.
It's so much fun, and man, there's a packed house in here tonight, man. Standing room only on the Churchill side. Of course, Clark, Texas represented very well too on the far side.
We don't see that very often anymore, Chuck. You know, there's so much other stuff for kids to do that a full house at a high school football game now is a rarity outside of places like Steele and Judson and this is cool. This is really, really cool. I think, again, it's a testament to Josh Pollard and the people that wanted to see Josh honored here tonight.
Yep, and same with Coach Alexander, too, and how much he meant to the Clark community over the years. It's been really, really a great night in many ways and a sorrowful night as well. And, I'm really proud of the way these kids have handled it. I've put on a really nice show here tonight, concentrating the whole shebang.
3rd and long. Billups looking to air it out. He's in trouble, and he is drilled right in the face. Clark got up in his grill, and that was Jesus Solis, among others. Wow.
Don, and really, again, Anthony Garcia, 29, set this whole thing up. He's not the guy that finishes this play off. Well, he's the guy that piled on there at the end.
Yeah,
but he was the guy that set it up because he completely held the edge and forced Billups to go back inside. That was a heck of a play by 29 and a huge stop for Clark. Just what they needed here late 3rd quarter, down 2 scores.
Bivens stands at his 50 as the Folsom punt is a spiral, turns over and backs him up all the way to the 40. Beautiful kick. Chargers have him in jail, and he's going nowhere. What a kick by Nick Folsom. Turned that baby over 39 yards. And what could have been really good field position for the Cougars, instead they will be in their own territory. Don't forget that CW35.com is your highlight and spirit center. Check out our website. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You want to watch the game again. You want to see what our schedule is, both on the Thursday Night Lights side, UTSA football. Just go to CW35.com. We got kids who played in their mid-20s. They got kids now. And they can go onto the website and check out the archives and see themselves on TNL from years ago. Jake Stewart and company with 1st down and 10 at their own 40. Jake keeps, spins, picks up about 4.
Stewart keeps up the middle near the 45.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Clark giving you a little of this and a little of that. Guys patting each other on the helmets. I don't know if they're going to go outside or inside with that run, but Jake's having himself a nice ball game as he settles into this position. I think, the Clark Cougars are going to be in good hands with this kid leading him. Such a good kid, good student, good athlete, and really well liked by his classmates. All around campus kid there that you just kind of can't help but not like.
2nd down and 8, ball's loose. Stewart got back on top of it. Another missed opportunity for the Cougars. And that'll force them to a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 11.
You just can't have that. You can't snap the ball at the kid's feet. Maybe something they'll get the handle on, I'm sure, as we go on through the rest of the season. But, the one thing that's been happening to Clark here tonight is it's just been a little of this and a little of that that's stopping them from getting into where they need to be. They're moving the football when they take care of it and execute the way they want to.
Churchill's always rolled up that 2nd safety on McGee. As Stewart scrambles, he wants to fire it over the middle. Just missed his intended receiver. He was looking for Sims again. Ben Sims is a nice big target at tight end. They really like him. And as you see McGee with some words of encouragement for Stewart, he just, I know he wants that one back because he had him and just missed him, but that would have been a tough completion because Sims had to really work to get open.
No, it really wasn't. You could read Coach McGee's lips. He was saying, good job, man. Don't be down on yourself. You bought yourself some time. You did everything, but, the completion, that's a tough one to complete. You're rolling to your left. You got to throw a BB on the run. You got guys barreling down on you. That's going to come as the season goes along.
Alva back deep to return this punt, but it's going to be well short of him. Churchill lets it bounce. It takes a Charger bounce, and it's down by the Cougars at about the 37, 38-yard line. Got 1:05 to play here in the 3rd quarter with Churchill leading, and you can see what these teams got planned for the rest of the month and their schedule. Roosevelt's going to be a very tough team this year. A lot of returners.
Yep. Then you got Lee. They might have the best running back in the city in Sammy Davis. The McCollum Cowboys had a winning record last year. Brandeis, always stout. Stevens ranked in our TNL top 10. You got John Jay, Warren, O'Connor. Ain't no bunnies in there, brother. But that's what playing in that district's all about. And, I don't think Clark would have it any other way. They want to play these teams.
And you could argue that 26-6A even tougher for the Churchill Chargers, and we'll take a look at their schedule after this play. First down and 10 for the Chargers. Billups claps his hands, has the ball, fakes the run, and now he is going to run. He's made up his mind. He gets to the corner. The Clark corner missed the tackle, and so Billups gets to the 50 where he's driven out of bounds. And little extracurriculars going on between Anthony Garcia and Billups. So we take a look at the Churchill schedule. Non-district, it's O'Connor and Taft. Warren, it's northeast, north side all the way there. And then they get into their 26-6A schedule, and I tell you what, there's another really stout district.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Coach Closa was telling us, man, don't be shocked when you see us play because they're going to be good. Reagan, Johnson, always good. Madison, is going to bounce back. Everybody's talking about what they've seen from them already. Roosevelt with the 17 returning starters, and then Mac with their star quarterback. I mean, yeah, it's, the high school equivalent of the Baton Death March. I mean, you're going to get a puncher's punch every single week in this district. And, I was talking to Coach Harris this week. He goes, yeah, I think we're going to be better this year, but who knows what's going to happen because he knows every team on his schedule is legit.
Yeah, and that's escaping on redistricting. That's a good year when neither Judson or Smithson Valley is in 26. That's right. It's like, oh, we got a break. The Rockets and Rangers are not in. Oh, but Roosevelt and Lee are up.
Yeah, we see
much
it
better.
Yeah, we see it every week, Don, don't we? I mean, there are good teams, good players all over the area.
Everywhere. Billups throws it to the Fletcher. Fletcher shows his speed down to the 45 where he's brought down by Matt Azuna.
Jordan Billups starting to show you a little bit of all the things that he's going to be able to do this year. Run the football, throw the football, and I'm telling you, Don, I mean, what an athlete this young man is. And we could talk about the fact that he's a terrific center fielder and he was hitting bombs this summer on his traveling team, the Angels. And then, look what he's doing on the football field. I mean, I think this kid's going to have offers on both baseball and football when it's all said and done.
It's had a big night tonight. Churchill has as well. They lead the Gucci Bowl 20-7. We're coming back with the fourth quarter on the CW 35. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We're ready to start the fourth quarter with Churchill leading Clark 20-7. But first, time for our Miracle Mattress third quarter highlights. And after the bad snap by the Clark special teams, Churchill cashed in. Malik Fletcher with a nice catch and move, scoring on the short touchdown there as Churchill has upped their lead to 2 touchdowns.
And I was talking about Matthew Ozuna on that play before the touchdown. It's like, the more we see the replay, it looked like Ozuna was actually going for the football because that ball wasn't actually secured when he first tried to get it. So that was really a nice play by Matthew Ozuna on the defensive end. It just didn't go his way.
Billups hands to Vela, who's got a little bit of room this time. Bounces it outside, gets the 35. Austin Bernard with the tackle, the junior.
Clark's got to be very careful now because the defense looks like it's starting to wear a little bit. And as we see a look at our third quarter stats here, the game stats through 3 quarters, and Churchill's starting to really rack up those rushing yards, passing yards, also the slight edge. But the biggest thing right now is Churchill is slow killing this clock. They did a good job of shutting down the Clark Cougars in the third quarter, and they're 11:55 away from securing this game, up 2 scores.
Missed opportunities will be what Clark will take out of this if it holds up, because the stats almost even all the way down to the first down. Total yards, Churchill's pulled up a little bit, and now they're starting to pull away in a lot of those stats. Anthony Garcia with the tackle, though, and you're exactly right. Coach Ron Harris is going to keep it on the ground here for a little bit and let Vela, his kind of a tough, short, stout, I would call him a hybrid tailback, fullback.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned some carries going forward. I mean, we talked about them being a little nicked up at the running back position, but he's had a heck of a night.
And they trust Billups with anything run or pass. This is a run. He keeps it to the middle, finds a hole, spins, got the first down. and he's brought down as Churchill moves close to the red zone. The red zone this half brought to you by the Vogue College of Cosmetology.
There's our man number 25 again, sticking his nose in there. He's had a whale of a ball game. Trying to shake the cobwebs off after that play, but we talked to Coach Harris this week. There were a few things he really wanted to concentrate on. Turnovers, number one, penalties, and then field position. And really all those things have kind of gone his way here in the second half. Clark had the missed snap off the punt, and then Clark has really had some really bad penalties here that have really kind of curtailed their offense.
Groff and Copabianco to the right. Vella's got it up the middle. Vella brought down right at about the 12-yard line.
Tank.
Austin Alvarado, who, when we talk about players who have really popped out on the film or the video this week for either team, Austin Alvarado is going to be one of those.
Yeah, but here's another carry by Vella. I mean, just like he scored on that touchdown earlier in the ball game. I mean, you got to get several hats on this kid or he's not going to go down. He got a blast right there almost the second he took the handoff, shucked it, got himself some positive yards, and Churchill's slow killing this clock.
You talked about it earlier, Chuck, and Coach talked about it at halftime. Play like you practice. Boy, when the lights go on, Diego Vela shows up.
Certainly has.
Billups keeps this time, tries to get to the corner, does, gets pushed out inside the 5. Austin Brannard again with the shove out of bounds. But Billups has the Chargers knocking on the door again.
Yeah, Austin Alvarado had a chance to get Billups down in the backfield, but sometimes easier said than done. I mean, Billups clearly one of the most athletic kids that Churchill has, and boy, he just continues to make plays. We talk about, you know, the young quarterbacks really, you know, these guys are really getting their first chance to carry their squads this year. And we talk about, Don, all the great quarterbacks in the area this year. I mean, if you're a college scout, just come to San Antonio, and if a kid's starting for one of these big schools, he's going to take a chance. That's right.
Yep. Billups pushes his way. Touchdown, Chargers. Billups has been, I guess, the captain of the ship all night. Nothing absolutely electrifying or spectacular, but he finally gets in himself after throwing for a couple. And Jordan Billups is doing the work for the Chargers tonight, who now have a 26-7 lead.
Well, just your all-around kind of great high school kid. I mean, you talk about what a great football player he is, a baseball player. He's also getting it done in the classroom. But I talked to Coach Harris this week about Jordan, and, you know, it's like, what is his first love? And he says, you know, I think baseball is probably his first love, but you really have to flip a coin as to what he thinks he might be better at. So, you know, Jordan's going to have some decisions to make. Maybe he can find a program where he can do both, but I'll tell you, I've seen a lot more on the baseball field than I have on the football field. But, boy, if he has a big senior year, you know, maybe Davidson's not the only one knocking on his door to play football.
You know, a lot of guys who are 2-sport, 3-sport athletes, they figure out that, you know, baseball doesn't hurt as much on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, that's right. As long as you don't get low bridged by a fastball, I agree.
But then again, there's something to Friday nights in Texas. As an extra point is blocked, you can run this back for a couple of points, but Dalton Jones and the Cougars don't quite capitalize. Churchill with a 26-7 lead, 9:44 to play on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We're back on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. The Chargers lead it 26-7, 9:44 to go. Churchill scoring on an 8-play, 62-yard drive as they now have taken a commanding lead. 9:44 to play. They'll be kicking it off. America's Diamond kickoff. Cole Trevor Wilson will put his foot into it. Back to receive is 2 stars for the Cougar offense. Quarterback Jake Stewart and running back Kenny Bivens.
And old Jake Stewart doing everything but driving the bus tonight, huh?
Little squibber, got loose. Clark will be content to just fall on it and take over there about the 27.
That was a really nice job there, scooping up that loose ball. by Austin Bernard. Not an easy thing to do, and, you know, gives us a chance, Don, to talk about the new turf they have here at Jerry Comalander Field. And I'll tell you, you know, honestly, Don, I've been on a million turf fields before. You know, they laid this track down, and I was walking around on this field. I walked 30 from sideline to sideline, to 20 from sideline to sideline.
And then you had a water break?
No, not quite. And then the 10. But I was looking for, you know, it's
seams,
these granules. That's right, seams or lumps or whatever. Smooth as silk out there. I mean, they've really done a nice job putting this stuff down. It's not an easy thing to do.
Stewart looking deep, firing deep over the middle, and overshot everybody. First time we've seen him really let loose and air one out. He was looking for Alejandro de la Trig, Antonio's little brother. Antonio played quarterback here last year. Jerry Comalander up in the booth earlier tonight. Always great to see Coach Comalander. Of course, he led the Churchill Chargers to their only state championship. Perfect 15-0 in 1976. He beat Temple 10-0 in the state championship game in Austin. Coach had a fantastic career as he was D.W. Rutledge before D.W. Rutledge. A dynasty built at Churchill. Then the athletic director for more than 2 decades at Northeast. And they named this stadium after him, and he's retired, and he's on the property tonight. Always great to see Coach Jerry Comalander. Stewart got hit late, almost picked off as he was pressured off the edge. Intended for Alejandro de la Trig. He got some pressure, and Andy Maetzel came in from his defensive end position.
Yeah, the Chargers just pinning their ears back right now. They know the Cougs want to go down the field. And really, this is a chance for Clark to work on some things too. You know, they might fall a little short tonight, but it's going to be a long year. They've done some positive things tonight, and I think they're only going to get better as the season goes along. But, you know, right now, Churchill's pinning back, and they're coming.
Shuffle pass, and oh my goodness, is that Court?
Yes.
Court Jaquist.
You showed me that twice tonight, not the third time, boys.
You know, he cut his hair this week to be, kids going old school. He wanted to cut it like Brian Bosworth. So he got the Boz hairdo this week, and that was a Bosworth-like Oklahoma tackle.
You know, we talked about some of the colleges that have been looking at Court, and, you know, Trinity's on him. The Air Force Academy is showing some interest, but it's like Coach Harris says, man, if you're a college recruiter, just stick in the tape. I mean, there's a ton of tape on this kid. A ton.
Yeah, not everything's measured in 40 times.
Dad was a heck of a player. He's got a little brother on the team. I mean, it's in the gene pool.
That punt rolls inside the 30. Chargers will have it there, up 26-7. Churchill cruising to a Gucci Bowl victory right now. 8:37 to play. We're back with the rest of the fourth quarter on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. 8:37 left in this one tonight in the Gucci Bowl, the 33rd annual. Churchill had won the last 6. They're on their way to their 7th straight. Time for our pick and pull collision of the game, Chuck, and guess who? Court Jaquist, not once, but Court is twice as nice. First the hit on Bivens there, and then the one you just saw, Bivens again. Bivens on the wrong end of Court Jaquist twice. That is our pick and pull collision of the game.
Yeah, how about our man Bivens, though, man? Just a sophomore, but standing up there and holding his own. He's gotten a couple shots here to finish off some runs, too, tonight. We're going to see some big things from him this year as well.
Diego Vela crashes forward. Got to also start thinking about our player of the game. Fabian Cervantes, the defensive tackle, coming up to make the hit. Not quite sure that's Boz. You need to go a little shorter on the sideline.
You want a little extra massage. I don't blame him. You're sticking his head in just about every play of the night.
Yeah, you got to put a lightning bolt on the side. I get it. It's kind of Boz-ish, but it's not extreme enough.
I don't know if that guy's still playing baseball. He used to play baseball, too. Pretty darn good.
2nd and 7. Vela's got a seam, breaks a tackle. He's got room. Diego Vela pops it. Diego Vela to the 30. Does he have the speed? To the 10. Vela back to the goal. Did he score?
Give it to him.
They're going to call him down at the 1-foot line. And I'm not sure. When that cone moves, you got to see what hit it. Dalton Jones and Austin Brainerd tried to run him down, but Vela went 67 all the way to the corner.
Look at this kid. You just can't get him down with one. I mean, he just keeps those legs churning, high knees, and then I don't think we knew he was this fast.
No, he showed some wheels here.
Goodness gracious. And then watching him finish this off, man, he scored.
He may have stepped out, but boy, he made a great effort for it. I don't know. Let's watch his foot. We're going to see if we can make this kid score here. The refs aren't going to give it to him.
I don't know,
he may
bro. I'm giving him the 6, man. Just that's a highlight either way. That's a heck of a run. And
I tell you what, if I'm Ron Harris, I hand it to him here and let the kid get his touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think he's gassed. He's probably on the bench. Billups will keep it, and Billups will do it, and Billups will score. Churchill nails the coffin shut late here in the 4th quarter as Diego Vela goes 67 to the 1-inch line and scored. And Billups finishes it off.
Do it for your brother, boys.
The extra point coming. And Billups will do the holding. Nick Folsom on to do the honors. And it's good. Churchill leads it 33-7. We're coming back to finish out the Gucci Bowl after this. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. It's 33-7. Diego Vela all smiles after his 67-yard run put the Chargers in business, and Billups did the rest. But it's time for our Night Office Solutions Play of the Night. Get it? It's Diego Vela going 67. And Mitch Huffman, the owner of Night Office Solutions, would be proud. He's a Churchill grad. And Mitch Huffman watching his Chargers lead tonight. And Diego Vela with the Night Office Solutions Play of the Night.
Opportunity knocks. Diego Vela goes right through the door and busts it down. I mean, where's this kid on the depth chart if they don't have certain things go their way? I mean, the lights came on tonight, and boy, nobody's been better than Diego Vela. Unbelievable performance.
Cole Trevor Wilson with another one of those squibbers. Clark happy to fall on it right there at the 32. See that strategy so often now, especially in high school football. Give up field possession instead of field position instead of a big return, as it's time for the UIW Smile Can. Earn a degree of difference at UIW, and those could very well be Incarnate Word cheerleaders right there because the same color scheme, but those are Churchill Chargers on the UIW Smile Can. UIW and Larry Kinnan getting ready to start their season.
That's right, had a winning record a year ago, and by this time next year, it might be D1.
Inside handoff to Bivens. Bivens being chased, gets to the outside, cuts it inside at the last minute, picks up a first down before he's brought down by Colton Olson. Some of the younger players get on the field for the Chargers.
And number 5 still running hard too. See him finish off that run?
He wanted contact at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about growth here. It's week 1. Sure, you want to come out and get a win, but there's still so much left in this season. Try to find some positives going out. Clark did a lot of good things tonight.
Yeah, this score is not indicative of the fight that they put up tonight. Stewart is brought down for a loss. Jim Foster, junior defensive end, number 89 there with the tackle. I'll tell you what, Churchill's had a lot of people contribute, and look at the student section for the Chargers.
Holding up the Josh Pollard flag. Yep, do it for your boy. It's awesome.
Stewart going to keep, as he's done a lot tonight. He's brought down the same guy that's been everywhere tonight, and that's Braden Eisenhart.
He really has had a whale of a ball game. Stood out on a defense that's played really well tonight. But I mean, really stood out.
Oh, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, 42, 29, all over the field.
I'm going to ask Chris Coffis and our crew to do something we don't actually do. If he'll give us another shot of that Churchill crowd on the sideline. That is something we, that brings back flashbacks, Chuck, of when you and I went to high school, when every Friday night the fans were packed. And this is something, we go to these games every week, and this is not something we see every single week. That's impressive. Gerald Green's going to sort this out for us. I mean, look at that. That's a 33-7 ball game.
Yeah, I mean, and you got all the emotion of the night and, what these kids and these families are dealing with. I mean, I can't imagine how tough it's been to start a school year, dealing with a loss of a classmate or your son. And, wow, I mean, you could say trite things like, oh, this will go a long way in healing. But, the fact of the matter is there's going to be good days and bad days for everybody involved that know Josh Pollard or Lloyd Alexander. And, it's just one of those journeys that, we all have to take. And I just think, really both teams really rose to the occasion tonight. Clark, with all the nice things that they did, and the tributes that they did, not an easy situation. I mean, we never had to deal with anything like that when we were teenagers and, having a brother like that pass away. So, it's tough for adults to get their minds and their hearts around what's going on and try to process all this stuff. And these kids are all learning a very tough lesson, and these families are learning tough lessons, to start the 2016 school year. But good show tonight, and everybody did a really nice job paying tribute.
Says a lot about the coaches on both teams. We're so blessed in San Antonio to have the coaches that coach high school football that these kids come up under. Ron Harris having to deal with a really, really tough situation. McGee being very supportive as well as you look at what's coming up after the game. DC Legends of tomorrow and Beauty and the Beast coming up on the CW35 after the game. But, a lot of this comes from the Pollard family itself. Dan and Stacy Pollard have been absolute rocks. And I'm sure behind the scenes there's a lot of tears and there's a lot of tough times, but the faith that they showed and the strength that they showed at that funeral service where 1,700 people showed up, the message of faith that Josh had in his life, and the way that they are living their life after Josh's passing as a testament about why they are so strong in their faith and why they are, dealing with it better than a lot of us could, is because of their faith. And they are proud of the young man that Josh was, and you could see just with those blue t-shirts in the crowd the popularity of Josh. I'll tell you a story that we heard at the funeral service. He had just taught a group of 11 sixth graders for an entire week at camp, where he was completely responsible for 11 sixth graders at a camp, overnight stay and all of that. And all 11 of those campers were at the service, and they all looked up to Josh. He was a hero to those middle schoolers because of the way he carried himself. A 4.0 student, leader of FCA, captain on this team. And that is why I think the way that Josh lived is one of the reasons that these kids have shown up in force like they have. And I know for a fact that he's made a huge impact on the rest of his teammates.
Well, we talked about, Don, these being a series of steps that everybody goes through when they're dealing with grief. And Coach Harris said, yeah, I mean, it was rough early, very rough. And after the funeral, though, there was a little bit of a difference in the kids. They started to have a little more focus. And, of course, they're having rough moments, but their approach to the task at hand of becoming a football team and to see what kind of squad they're going to have in 2016, they really became focused and very businesslike. And I mean, I don't know how you do that as a 17-year-old to try to process everything that's going on, but I think it's a testament to the kids that they have, obviously the coaches too, but the seniors coming up with all the things that they did. The tribute with the jersey, or the missing man when they took the field on defense tonight.
And deciding that the captains were not going to be necessarily the 5 best players, but rather the 4 or 5 closest guys to Josh.
Right.
You know, those were his 5 boys. Those are his best friends that were carrying that jersey. That's a cool thing. Leaving the gap, the national anthem thing, the sticker, all of those. Adults get in the way so many times these days that these kids came up with that, and I think that's awesome.
That, you know, Coach Harris visiting with, you know, the other Pollard siblings and having lunch with them and visiting with the Pollards after the fact, and not just being a coach. Yeah. He's being a human being too. I mean, very impressive. I mean, I don't know if anybody could handle this any better, and obviously there are going to be some tough days ahead, but I'll tell you what, we've seen a lot of bright out of a very dark situation tonight.
Yep. Dan Pollard and I went to a Spurs game with Dan Pollard and his dad when I was in the 6th grade. I've known Dan since Eisenhower Middle School. We graduated together at Churchill. And my wife, Julie, and Stacy, his wife, are good friends. They graduated in '84. And I think Dan knows just how much he and Stacy are loved by everybody in the Churchill community and the business community. Dan's a very popular person in San Antonio, and I know that he knows that everybody surrounded feels his pain, and we could not be more proud of the way that they've handled it so far. Billups has the football at the 35-40. Great little seam route. Look at him keep his balance. Oh my goodness, what a play by Billups. I'm sorry, Bivens, my bad. Bivens and Billups, I got them confused, but a bad call to mess it up for me because he was fantastic.
Yeah, Jake the Snake with a rocket. And again, you know, Clark, you got some stuff you can build on tonight. Really good start. I mean, you had some penalties. You had the bad snap on the punt. But, you know, you can't cash it all in one night, and I don't think they're gonna. You know, I mean, you got to take what you did positive tonight and see if you can't take that when you go forward in 28-6A.
You're throwing another B there. Biles. You look like Simone Biles there at one point. A very gymnastic move to spin away.
Oh, don't tell me this is coming back.
Gerald Green and his crew saw something, not quite sure what it was. Was it pre-snap? Well, whatever it is, it's going to back Clark back up to the 9-yard line.
Well, some sort of procedure, Clark. Is it a 5-yard gain?
He'll try it again. Slips away again. You got to be tired after a run like that, but Bivens churning along. Elijah Hatfield with the tackle as we tick inside 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Clark, you've had some decent plays tonight. You've had some decent drives. You know, if you just tighten a few things up, get rid of the costly penalties and some special team stuff.
They've got some, they've got some really good talent. We didn't see much of Luke McGee tonight because Churchill's rolled a safety up on top of that corner everywhere that he's gone. They shadowed him. And Stewart's done a lot of this, and he looks good. If they stay healthy, I don't know what the depth situation is. They are in a very tough district, but with Bivens and Stewart and McGee.
Gotta get your hat, Red.
Alvarado on defense, 36. I think we ought to call him Mini Major.
I think the Red Rocket, man.
I like the Red Rocket, but that's stealing it from Matt Bonner, too, either way. I like Mini Major.
Tell you what, man, what a great kid this guy is. I'm telling you, he's just the best. And he will fight you tooth and nail. You can see there's no quit. He's not looking at the scoreboard. He's trying to find some positives here at the end. He just told Big Boy, just go run down the field. I'm going to find you.
Looks to run it this time, bounces it outside. There's that speed that we talked about early.
Number 4 around the left side,
Don't forget to vote for our band grant. You can text band 1 to 45203 or band 2 for Churchill for 45203. And either Clark or Churchill or one of the many teams that we have all season long will be eligible for our North Carolina Furniture Direct in San Marcos $2,500 band grant. Some band this year is going to get big bucks thanks to North Carolina Furniture Direct. So if you want to vote for Clark, again, band 1 to 45203, band 2 for Churchill. Clicking right at the 2-minute mark. Stewart looking left all the way. Now he loads up and he's hit as he throws. And that ball's incomplete as Andy Maetzel got to him from his defensive end position. He's fired up.
Yeah, Churchill doing a really nice job right there holding the edge and giving Jake no really place to go with the football. Jake's going to feel this one tomorrow, I have a feeling.
Well, Coach McGee can build on this, and Coach Harris, I'm sure, what a relief after all that his program has been through to have to still play a football game and to put it together in the second half after an admittedly disappointing first half for his squad. Ron Harris has done a great job with this team over the last month or so, and they have a bright future. It's a tough district that they play in, but I really like Billups, and Vela has come on tonight as a guy who's going to be a threat for them all year, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, we talked about it this week. You know, he didn't know what was going to happen tonight with his team. I mean, sure, you've got all the emotion and everything going into your opening game. But, you know, given everything that's happened so far to this team before the season even started, he had no idea how this team was going to roll. But, you know, couple rough patches in the first half, but, man, flawless in the second half.
We got some good news, bad news. The bad news is we're off next week after getting one under our belt, but we're getting the bye out of the way early as we take a look at the rest of the schedule for TNL. When we come back, look at this. We've got Judson and Roosevelt. As we told you, Roosevelt's going to be real improved. Harlandale's good. The Canyon New Braunfels rivalry game up in Comal County. Are you kidding me? And then one of the best districts all year on North Side. We got O'Connor and Warren, Brandeis and Marshall. We go back downtown to the Rock Pile for a couple of weeks for Sam and Highlands and Burbank and Brack. And then back to the north side for both Holmes and Taft and that north side playoff game. So a great schedule on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights as Sims, the big tight end, catches it over the middle. He bounces it again to the outside, and he's inside Churchill territory. He's been a favorite target of Stewart all night. Alec Riley there to knock him out, but I'll tell you, Sims is a guy to watch all year long for the Cougs.
Yeah, really nice throw by Jake. And then watch this on the top, Don. I mean, you're in a blowout situation here, and look at McGee at the top.
Yeah, great block.
Still throwing a ceiling block there so he can get his guy a couple of extra yards. You know, somebody's going to appreciate that in the film room when they're looking at it tomorrow.
That's a prompt 2 immediate care first down for the Cougars. Be a good emotional morale boost for them to score here with 1:46 to play. Stewart fakes, wants to fire over the middle. He's got Sims again, who makes a great catch. Great throw, and even better catch by Sims because Stewart had put a rocket on that one.
Yeah, and this will be good, you know, get a chance to work on your 2-minute offense going forward, and Sims wasn't the only one open on that play. That receiver's open all over the field.
Inside the Vogue College of Cosmetology red zone is Ben Sims.
Really good, strong hands right there, pulling that ball down.
First down and 10. Cougars threatening, 1:23 to play on the opening night of the Gucci Bowl. Stewart looking left all the way for his big guy McGee. Instead fires over the middle, and there was traffic in there with 3 Chargers. If you'd have thrown it a tad earlier in the route into the outside, McGee would have had a chance to go up and get it. He waited for the other receiver to clear, and then the Churchill defense responded.
Yeah, Rudy Garcia, John Eric Arispe, a whole offensive line for Clark. Jake had all day to throw that football. Another good job by the big fellas up front, creating a wall. Not letting them touch a pretty quarterback.
Mini major. Second down. Stewart, the shuffle pass, it's worked once tonight. Bivens has it, bounces it,
nice.
Puts his head down and gets down to the 2.
You talk about foot in the ground. How about that, huh?
Colton Olson finally brings him down, but Kenny Bivens, remember, folks, he's just a sophomore. He has the potential to be a special one for the Clark Cougars.
Yeah, a lot of head and shoulders coming at you. Got to make sure you're zeroing in on his waist. You look at his shoulder pads and his helmet. He's going to ditch you.
Jumbo formation for Clark. Hand to Bivens. Did he get in? I think he busted his way in there. He did. Touchdown, Clark Cougars with 35 seconds to go. And that's a great way for Clark to gain some confidence as they punch it in. Sims with a couple of great catches, and Bivens doing what he does, gaining confidence here as a young sophomore.
Good way to go, Cougs. Get you some here at the end.
Chuck, I'll never forget, I was standing on the field at what is now Gustafson Stadium. It was the old Northside Stadium. And it was like this. It was like the first or second week of the season. And I was right down on the sidelines with my photographer when a young sophomore caught a punt for the Clark Cougars and took off down the sideline faster than anybody had ever seen. His name was Wayne McGarity.
I think Wayne can still run.
He was like 5'4", 102 pounds, and he flew. And I said, okay, that kid might be something. In his junior, senior year, of course, he was great. Still holds the record for the longest touchdown in the Red River rivalry, Texas and Oklahoma for the Longhorns. And Bivens playing as a sophomore too. Not quite McGarity's speed, but he shows you that he's got potential with 3 seasons ahead of him here, sophomore, junior, senior year.
And you know, Don, honestly, and I know you can speak to this as well, both of these schools, forget about the athletics. I mean, the education that the kids get at both of these high schools is off the charts. You know, I know my kids, and now I've got the third one in there. I'm just really appreciative to all the teachers over at Clark and everything they've done for my children going through. And I know anybody that's had their kids go through Churchill would say the same thing about the quality of teacher, the quality of people that are over at these schools teaching our children. I mean, I think everybody's grateful that lives in either one of these communities.
Absolutely. I've got my Churchill Charger education I'm very much proud of. Although I'm not quite sure it's mutual there. They claim everybody but me.
It's the same way over at Madison for me. I think there's still some teachers over there scratching their head as to how the heck I ever got out of it.
They say, wait, Chuck went to Madison, Don went to Churchill, David Chancellor went to Lee. Whew. We need to do something about this Northeast Independent School District education. Our statistician Mark Kuchenberger went to Mac.
Yeah. Got another Madison grad right here sitting
Derek
next to
Macon,
us.
our statistician tonight. Another Madison Maverick.
A lot younger than this Madison Maverick, that's for sure.
Who isn't? You were talking about all those nice teachers at Churchill. I was thinking all the ones that were there when I was there, long retired or unfortunately gone to the other side. That's how old I am.
Hey, the old hands team out there for Churchill, and Derek Perez, a sophomore quarterback / wide receiver, showing why he's in there on the special teams play right there, making a nice diving play, securing the ball for the Chargers, and they can take a knee here. Victory formation with 32 seconds left. Well earned tonight by the Churchill Chargers. You know, they fell behind early 7-6, but it was all Churchill after that, and they really, you know, you got to say, the one time they got punched in the mouth early, they were able to bounce back and quickly, you know, right before the half, get that go-ahead touchdown, and they never took their hands off the reins after that, Don.
No, and Billups did a great job of leading them. Diego Vela, fantastic job running the football. A surprise for us tonight. But they've got a future here with Jordan Billups. And as good as Reagan and Johnson are, I think Churchill's going to be heard from in this district. Whether it's an upset or two, or whether it's a run at a playoff spot, they've been impressive tonight.
Yeah, we talked about the murderer's row. I mean, you know, you got Johnson, Reagan, and then MacArthur's got their talented quarterback back. Lee's got their talented running back back.
Roosevelt's as good as they've ever been.
That's exactly right. I mean, all those returnees coming back. Good ball game tonight, fellas, both sides.
That's going to do it. Churchill, the winner of the Gucci Bowl. It is year 33, and they put up 33 points. 33-14 over the Clark Cougars. We're not done. We're going to hand out the hardware. Much more coming on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Welcome to the Church's Chicken postgame report, presented by Countywide Service Company.
Welcome back to the postgame show, everybody. Churchill wins it 33-14, the Gucci Bowl here at Jerry Comalander Stadium. Time to hand out those Monarch trophies, our player of the game, and a very special trophy to the Chargers on a night that they remembered their friend, Josh Pollard. Here's Mike Hernandez.
All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. How about that win, guys? Let's go! Really, really solid effort by a lot of individuals. As a team, you guys played great. Congratulations on winning the Gucci Bowl and starting your season off in a positive light. Good luck to you, because I know you got a hard road ahead of you. I think next week y'all have O'Connor, so going to have to go home, celebrate, and then turn around and do it all over again and get ready. Hey, great efforts by a lot of people. We do pick out one MVP each game, and tonight it's going to be an individual who rushed for 168 yards on 14 carries. 1 TD, and also a 67-yard run. Come on over here. I'm talking about Diego Vega. There you go. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, the big question I have, I thought you scored. What about you?
Man, I thought I did. I reached up. It's a Riffle's call. His call.
Well, congratulations. Great effort. I know you got people to thank on your offensive line especially.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Starts with the O-line.
All right, well, enjoy it. I appreciate it. Let's give a big round to Diego Vega. Great effort. Stand right there for me. Stand right here for me. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's what, 6 in a row?
7. Well, it's 1-0 this season, but it's 7 for the Gucci
7?
Bowl.
All right. So, again, what'd you take away from the game tonight?
Just guys that worked hard and persevered. Everything wasn't easy, and a lot of that is credit to what Clark, they've got a pretty good football team, and the score might have been 33-7, but it sure felt like it was closer than that all night long.
Yeah, we felt that same way watching it. It looked like a couple of miscues there, a couple of penalties there, and it could have been even closer.
Yes, it could have been, 6 or 7 snaps to decide every football game. You just don't know when they are. And fortunately, most of them went our way tonight.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the win. You guys had a solid effort, really, offensively and defensively. Let me go ahead and present you. Here you go. You guys ready? I learned a long time ago. I give it to the coach. I don't get in the middle of that pack. This is your TNL trophy for winning tonight, and you all are the champions of the Gucci Bowl. Congratulations, Churchill Chargers. Okay.
They're fired up. Churchill, winners of the Gucci Bowl. We're coming back with more right after this.
Hey, JP on 3. 1, 2, 3, JP! Woo! Woo!
Oh man, that's a 10.
Into the score, number 7, Jordan Bullock.
Churchill 33, Clark 14. It's a final here at Jerry Comalander Stadium. All right, time one last look at our Miracle Mattress highlights. It was a great one early on. There's our MVP, Diego Vela. He capped off a touchdown run. Jake Stewart got the Cougs back in it. They took a 7-6 lead. Billups threw a touchdown pass to Jacob Groff, who had a great game tonight. He scored. Malik Fletcher with a very athletic play to keep the scoring going. And then Vela, he said it, Chuck, you laughed. He was, I thought I got in, but then he was very respectful. It was the official's call. Billups finished it off. And Churchill goes on to win it and started to pull away in the statistical categories as well.
Oh, yeah, 255 on the ground, and a lot of that was Vela doing his thing. And really, I mean, deceptive speed, man. When that kid got on the open field, he was tough to bring down. And then Cougs got the better of him in the passing yards. But again, the penalties, too much to overcome for Clark. And that one bad fumble, or that bad snap on the punt, really set things going in the wrong direction for the Cougs.
All right, for Chuck Minkatinik, I'm Don Harris. Special thanks to our statistician, Mark Kuchenberg, our spotter, Derek Machen, and Chris Kotfus in the truck, and a cast of thousands. We will introduce you to them as we continue on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights all year. Number 1 is in the book. Till next time, good night and God bless.